And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, roger, planet.
Water towers, fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside FD off. Bring in FD off. It's orange!
R45! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Décollage. Put that in the big bag,
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
This methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You good? Sure. We don't need any more of these.
Hello and welcome to the NSF live stream for Starliner's Crewed Flight Test. This is an extremely big day and an extremely special day for many reasons. It's the first crewed launch from Cape Canaveral since Apollo 7 in 1968. It's the first human flight for the mighty Atlas V rocket. And it's when the US and NASA get to inaugurate a brand new human spacecraft, which only happens every so often. I mean, Gemini, Mercury, Apollo, Shuttle, Dragon, and now Starliner. Welcome to our live stream. I'm Jack Beyer. I'll be your host for today's stream. And as always, we have our ever-competent cohort of co-hosts chiming in. Today we have Mr. Ryan Caton on comms. Ryan, are you excited to watch humans blast into space on a brand new vehicle?
Yes, Jack, I am very excited indeed. The second launch today, the first most exciting launch of today. As you just said then, it is an extremely rare occasion where we get to see a brand new crewed vehicle launch for the first time with crew on board. It's only the 6th time in US spaceflight history that we get to see this, and for the very first time, we're going to be having 2 of them flying simultaneously to the International Space Station. This is just, it's an incredibly, not only historic, but exciting, monumental day. All of the words to describe this flight, because we are about to see in 4 hours' time Starliner launch with humans on board for the very first time.
Yes, indeed. All of the words, just as you said. With additional words, we also have Sawyer out in the field because Team NSF East Coast is coming out in force for this launch, as you would expect. Sawyer, how are you doing, bud?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, again, we had a gorgeous launch earlier this afternoon, and as you mentioned, there's just a different air about the press site at the moment. You know that there's something special with this launch, and very excited to see a crew launch from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station for the first time here.
Indeed, this is quite a day. Also, out in the field, we have Julia. Julia, how are you doing?
Hi, hello there, Jack. I am doing magnificent. Florida is giving us a gorgeous evening, which bodes well for weather. And I know we've said a lot of the words, but it is a really special day out here at the press site. And I just want to say it's pretty cool seeing, from our point of view, we can see 4 pads that have the potential to launch crew into space. And neighboring pad 39A, we all know, has been launching with Dragon. We're about to activate human space flight at 41. And then, of course, we've still got 39B and 40 to look forward to both potentially be launching humans soon. So it is really, really a special night out here. And I'm excited for all of the milestones that we will be achieving tonight and really proud of the Space Force.
Yeah, big day for the Space Force today. Big day for all of humanity. We're getting another spacecraft online so that humans have backups and just more ways to get to space, which is, of course, a good thing. Also out in the field, we have Max Evans and Dee Weiss operating some cameras for us. So definitely, oh, hey, it's Max. Hi, Max. I don't know if he can hear us, but that's I believe that's Dee bringing us some BTS. He has no idea he's live right now.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, or good evening now, I should say. We are here just outside of the astronaut crew quarters, where Suni and Butch are currently finishing getting suited up, and should be walking out here at 7:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So right now it's just a game of hurry up and wait, and we will see what happens. The sun actually is in a really good spot right now. Hopefully it stays in a much more similar location. Obviously, it's out of coming. Very excited. Just trying to.
Awesome. Super cool to check in with Max out there and Dee as they wait for walkout of the crew. Let's see. Oh, yeah, and we have Kevin Michael Reed, of course, operating the stream, pushing the buttons, pulling the levers, running in the giant human-sized hamster wheel to power the steampunk machine that is the NSF live stream's infrastructure. And we also have Jay Keegan helping out as well in some sort of other contraption, I don't know, doing network support. Thank you, Kevin and Jay. So that is the team that we have on hand for today's historic mission. I know we throw the word historic around a lot when it comes to spaceflight, but truly, this is a big day. And I do want to, as we're wrapping up just the intro housekeeping section of things, remind everybody that if you have any questions, type them out in chat at NASA Spaceflight, and the question will pop up in some software that we have running in the background, and we can see and answer it. Oh, man. All right, deep breaths. My heart rate may be above 140 beats per minute, but yeah, this is looking good. Julia, really quickly, give us a weather report.
The weather here is a little bit breezy, but that is to be expected as we are just off the coast of the Atlantic Ocean. Not too humid, although I'm seeing just a little bit of distortion on our view. That's pretty common for Florida as the heat rises throughout the day. We have just a few wispy clouds, and I'm really sincerely hoping that these wispy clouds are all we get for the rest of the night. So as far as we're concerned on the ground, so far it's looking great for weather.
Excellent. Thank you for that. So, Sawyer, do you want to talk us through a little bit about what we're going to see tonight in terms of the flow, since you are Mr. Shuttle, and I think you have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to crewed spaceflight, and you know so many astronauts.
Yeah.
I mean, give us a bit of a play-by-play for people who might not be used to, crewed launches. Maybe everyone's just used to yet another Starlink. Like, what are we going to see tonight?
Yeah, I was just chatting with Nicole Mann for a couple seconds earlier
Flex.
before we went on the air. So, yeah, I also wrote the 3,000-word article on it. So let's go through things here. So as mentioned, right now the crew is in the suit-up room at the Neil A. Armstrong Operations and Checkout Facility. That is the same place where all the Apollo, Shuttle, NASA Crew Dragon astronauts all suit up in that historic room there. Once they're suited up, they will go down an elevator, walk out to where we saw Max and Dee, and then hop in their special Astrovan 2, which is not like the Astrovan of shuttle days with the silver motorhome. This one is a giant box truck, basically, but it does have power outlets, a TV that will be playing scenes from Top Gun Maverick, and as long as the AT&T signal holds, we should be able to get live video from in and outside of it. They will then roll out. Hopefully you can still hear me over the helicopter. That is the non-animal KSC security.
We've got you 5x5.
Cool. They will head out to the pad, where they will then go up to level 12 on the crew access tower at Slick 41, where they will then enter inside of their Starliner capsule. They will do all of the fit checks. They will make sure that once they close the hatch, there's no leaks. And then the crews are done at the pad. And then it's just continuing checkouts all the way as we get close to the launch itself. And we're talking lots of little things like the hatch closure, cabin leak checks, pressurization checks, comms checks, uh, setting the capsule itself into terminal count when it comes time, as opposed to just the rocket. So a lot to look forward to coming up with this.
Fantastic. So, yeah, 4 hours, 7 minutes and change to go, and a lot of interesting things to come, culminating with 2 humans heading to the ISS on a brand new vehicle. So exciting. Really quick, Sue, thank you for becoming a Red Team member, and Falcon's Maze, excellent name. See that name pop up all the time. Gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thank you so much for that. We absolutely could not do what we do without the members' support. It's the bedrock upon which all of NSF is built, so thank you so much. John Depker also gifting 5. Peter Zachney gifting 10 Red Team memberships, and D.A. Swanson gifting 1. Thank you all so much. Oh, and oh my gosh, Bideford gifting 20. Y'all, if you get a gifted membership, be sure to thank the person that gifted it to you. And if you are wondering how to get one, I do believe it's a setting that you need to turn on. If you're like, why haven't I ever gotten a gifted membership? It's a setting.
And if you have a brand channel as well, then they're not applicable either. It's only like if you only like use your account for chatting in YouTube. If you've made like a brand on top of your account, it's so confusing. Google, just make it all of them. Come on, Google.
Right. But seriously, thank you everybody for the kindness and the gifting of the memberships. We super appreciate it. Let's get into some viewer questions. Ryan Outdoors Man Show is asking, is Starliner essentially a smaller version of Orion?
Starliner is a completely different vehicle from Orion because they both serve very different purposes. And I think that might be like a little, maybe not a misconception, that might be the wrong word, but something people don't realize. Even just talking about the heat shield alone, the amount of thermal protection you need to come back from low Earth orbit compared to coming back from the moon is immense. The difference is drastic. So Starliner is designed to be a crew transport vehicle to low Earth orbit. NASA is currently paying Boeing to take their astronauts to the International Space Station. Boeing can and have the right to try and find other clients if they want to take if other clients want Boeing to take their own astronauts, their own crew, to their own space stations in the future, same as what SpaceX is going to be doing with the vast Haven station in the next few years or so. Orion, on the other hand, is built by Lockheed Martin, NASA operated, and it's designed to take humans into deep space. That is to say, beyond low Earth orbit. It's designed to take humans to lunar orbit, dock with the Gateway Station, or dock with a Starship or a different human landing system vehicle, and it's designed to safely carry crew from the moon back down to Earth with that drastic difference in heat shield capabilities because of that drastic difference in thermal protection required, because you're coming in so much faster from the moon. It's like this is definitely not to scale, and this is definitely not accurate, but it's the difference between your phone falling out of your pocket and throwing your phone off the top of a 50-story building, right? You're falling, right. You're coming in from such a bigger distance from the moon to Leo, compared to Leo. So they're two different vehicles for two different purposes.
Indeed. I couldn't have said it better myself,
I can
Ryan.
add.
Thank you. Go ahead, Sawyer, please. And as a note, we were watching some playback of the previous Starliner test launch on the left there. Don't get too excited. Sawyer, go ahead.
Yeah, as we see the crew there, we actually will probably be playing it later in the broadcast. Did an interview with one of the Artemis 2 crew who said that a mentor who flew in Apollo basically told him the main difference is this one you're in it for a couple days, go to the ISS. The other one, that is your living quarters for weeks, if not months. So that's the other big difference. One is designed to be lived in for a lot longer.
Indeed.
Also,
Thank
nice
you, Sawyer.
carpet.
This is, I do believe we are getting some fiber feeds from NASA, and you can see the crew in the suit-up room there. That is Butch Williams and Suni. getting ready, getting suited up. I always love seeing the astronauts sitting on the couches. Like,
yeah.
I always try and imagine in my head, like, what must that feel like? I don't know. What do you think, Ryan?
It's given me, it looks like they're checking their focus. It's given me kind of not really like near shuttle vibes, but the Boeing Starliner suits, they're giving me like the Aces orange suit vibes, you know? They're giving me those kind of vibes. Because the SpaceX suits, put my teeth back in. The SpaceX's aesthetic is like super futuristic stuff, and they look awesome. But there's also this kind of love for the retro shuttle suits kind of style of things, and like the same with Starliner. It has thermal blankets visible on the outside, and it's just it's making my nostalgia brain just absolutely adore the aesthetic of this thing. Oh, and it looks like NASA's got their helicopter in the air, although it's flying sideways.
I do believe that's the helicopter that just flew over us, giving you that view.
Nice. Beautiful shot, despite being a little wonk. I'm sure they're still dialing in all their cameras and everything. As we get closer to launch, we will get all these excellent views.
And you can see their soft helmet too, which is
oh yeah, look at that.
Different from the visor, the solid visor that we see on the SpaceX suits, which kind of they fold down, flap down. I'm not sure what the best terminology would be, because they shift down and slot into place.
Yeah, this is basically almost like a zip-in-place kind of thing. You see there, rather than attaching a totally separate helmet, especially like they did for shuttle, you can see this one's kind of a soft one that's just on the back there. So when it comes time, it's already attached to the suit, and then you will have it go down and basically almost like zip up to have the helmet on. You can see them actually working on it right now.
Excellent. And yeah, Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams are go for pad entry. I'm seeing on our back channel. The launch team has been pulled and given the go for the blue team to enter the Space Launch Complex 41, perform the final tasks for Starliner and astronaut loading activities. So it's ground crews are going to go prep the vehicle. Excellent.
Yeah.
Let's do some more questions. Ryan, while we're on the topic of different capsules, John Cook is asking, how do Starliner and Dragon compare? Do they have a similar payload and crew capacity? Are there any big differences?
If I'm going to talk in like physical differences, just talking about the size, Starliner is about 5 meters long, if you count the actual capsule and its service module, and it has a diameter of about 4.5 meters. Dragon, on the other hand, it's about 8 meters long because it has its trunk, and it's about 4 meters in diameter. So Starliner is a little bit squashed, if you think about it. It's a little bit wider, but also a little bit less tall. So that's in terms of physical size. Now, in terms of capabilities, the Starliner and Dragon 2 spacecraft from Boeing and SpaceX respectively were both put in as bids for the exact same contract, so naturally they're going to have similar capabilities because NASA was looking for a vehicle that can take crew to the International Space Station. Both vehicles were designed to do that. So both Starliner and Dragon are designed to carry crew into low Earth orbit. Dragon has obviously demonstrated 8 operational crew flights for NASA. It's also done 3 operational commercial flights for Axiom. It's also done Inspiration 4, and it's doing Polaris Dawn soon as well this year, hopefully. Starliner is very similar in Dragon's capabilities because, as I was just saying, that's what the contract was for. It can carry 4 people on board. However, as we've seen with SpaceX's second demonstration flight, which is their first crewed flight, Boeing's first crewed flight, the flight we're going to see today, is only going to carry 2 people on board. However, for Starliner 1, which is going to be their first operational flight, it will carry 4 people. So it's exactly the same that we saw with SpaceX. So in terms of physical size, a little bit smaller in terms of height, a little bit wider in terms of diameter, and in terms of crew capacity, it's identical to what NASA is also asking of SpaceX.
Excellent. Thank you, Ryan. Good question from John there. D.A. Swanson, thanks for gifting a Red Team membership. Peter Zachney, thank you for the super chat. Musical Wolves, thank you as well. They say, can Starliner be launched on a Vulcan since Atlas is being retired soon? What is going on there? Because we all know Atlas is unfortunately not long for this world.
Yeah.
Well, luckily,
They,
so
so right
there was.
now
Did
they
you
have.
did you interview someone? Because I think there was an interview with someone about Vulcan.
I did not. I did the editing on it, but yes, we talked
Oh,
with one
okay,
of
close
the
enough.
people with the commercial crew program. But to summarize it, and hopefully we'll hear the full thing later. But to summarize it, basically there are 6 Atlas Vs left dedicated to Starliner. Beyond that, they are looking into the possibility of moving it over to Vulcan. But given that at this point it would be 1 Starliner launch per year, because they'll alternate Starliner and then 6 months later Crew Dragon, they have some time to think about it and discuss it and potentially crew rate.
Got it. We just saw Suni for a second there doing the heart hands. That was kind of touching. And
I think you can see Butch getting inflated right now.
Yes, I was just about to say you can see it looks like they're pressure testing the suit. That's pretty great. It's like a blue Michelin Man.
Yeah.
But as we watch what
The jokes
is
I
in
can make right now.
as we watch what is in some way like a familiar thing that we've seen, previous crews for previous vehicles in different suits do. One thing we are looking for is traditions, right, Julia?
Yeah, that is right, Jack. Sorry, I was giggling to myself about the flight suits being pressure tested. I'm curious to see what traditions we'll see here. Will we continue the card game tradition, or will we have new traditions? These are things that we haven't experienced yet with Starliner and her crew. So, um, in fact, I didn't honestly see anything from pre-flight like in the days leading up. So this is going to be interesting, and that's kind of what I'm watching our feeds for, is to see what we do next, tradition-wise.
Yeah, I mean, with Dragon, there's a lot of familiar traditions. I mean, there's the zero-G indicator, there is the signing the wall, there is, all sorts of things. So it'll be the license plates on the Teslas. So it'll be interesting to see if we get any kind of glimpses of that. Like you said, Julia, the card game. We'll keep our eyes open as we keep watching the crew get ready here. Ninja Decimator gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thank you, Ninja Decimator. JD Brown with the super chat. Thank you. They say, what makes Starliner abort areas different from SpaceX Crew Dragon abort zones, and why are Starliner abort areas way farther out than SpaceX Crew Dragon's abort zones, which are shorter? Whew, that's a big question. I think the simple answer is they're very different vehicles and have very different ascent profiles. Not just the capsules themselves, but the rockets as well. Does anyone want to chime in with something smarter sounding than that?
Well, I'll be honest, I don't know the answer to that question, but I will also just add on to what I was just saying by saying, like, I literally just answered the whole question by saying Dragon and Starliner are similar in terms of their capabilities, but I should have probably also disclaimed that Dragon and Starliner are 2 very different vehicles. They're manufactured by different people, they're designed to launch on different rockets, and they're being operated by different people as well. So that is... Although they have their similarities, they're also very different vehicles, which is why you will see distinct differences, such as the abort zones, with the differences between Dragon and Starliner.
Also,
And
don't
you know
forget
what?
the fact that this capsule is designed to land on land, not water. So that affects part of it too. I mean, again, in the event of any emergency, it still can splash down, but the primary method of landing is parachute, airbags, and touching down in the deserts at the White Sands Missile Test Range in New Mexico. And in case you're wondering, by the way, for those abort zones, the wave heights have to be below 4 meters, surface winds below 27 knots, no thunderstorms or lightning within any of the abort landing areas.
And Sawyer, you just about took the words out of my mouth on that one.
Sorry,
That
Julia.
yes, indeed, we there is a difference in that recovery aspect. Boeing does not have their own fleet. So if there is an abort. I do believe it is Detachment 3. Detachment 3 actually does have a base out here at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, and they are able to get to our astronauts within 24 hours of an abort scenario or an emergency scenario to recover our astronauts from wherever it is that they land. But traditionally, our Eastern Range, as a general rule, would also be supporting this.
Awesome. Eric Frazier, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. What's up, Eric? I'd rather be flying an X-Wing. Thanks for the support. They say, hoping Boeing finally got this right, but at least there's no chance for a stubby nozzle today. Charles Gilligy, thank you for the 20 Red Team gift memberships. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Chris W., thank you for the gifted membership. John Depker, thanks for the super chat. They say, if you're looking to send a crew, who's going to cost more, Dragon or Starliner? Ooh, cost? I am not a accountant.
Yeah, I think it's accurate to say that I believe the contract awarded cost from NASA to Boeing was higher than SpaceX. However, Starliner is yet to be purchased by a commercial company for a commercial mission like Dragon has. So it's hard to say what's going to cost more if Starliner hasn't been purchased or contracted for that use case yet, when Dragon has. So it's kind of difficult to answer that question.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I think is Suni about to get pressure tested here? I think so.
Looks like it. Yeah, here come the arms.
I don't know. I can't get used to the zip-up helmets. I have, for whatever reason, I guess I've been oblivious to how these suits look until now. Russell Snodgrass, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, $100 super chat. They say, so exciting, great big, funny looking for breathing machines, sending humans into space. Thanks for the coverage. Thank you, Russell. We always see your name pop up with these big amounts of support, and we can't say thank you enough. Also, Russell also gifted 20 Red Team members. Holy cow, Russell, thank you. And, oh my god, what is going on? And RC Horseman with a $200 tip to tips.nasaspaceflight.com. They say, again, NSF giving us the commentary by competent commentators. Thanks so much, NSF crew. Thank you so much, RC Horseman. Thank you so much, everybody, for all of the insane support. You know we love what we do, and you know what we want to do is bring you the very best coverage that we can. So every little bit of support that comes our way that helps us do that is so appreciated. Oh, and RC Horseman gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Y'all, like, what am I even supposed to say? Thank you. It's insane. Thank you. Ooh, Starliner. Alex on our back channel reporting that pad teams have arrived at Starliner. Fantastic.
Oh, and there's a brilliant shot there of the crew. The helicopter's gone away now. But there was a brilliant shot there of the crew escape zip lines there from the top of the tower, right next to the crew access arm.
You know, if anyone ever wanted to raise some money for a good cause, a charity, I think taking rides down the zip line would be a great way to make sure that they are safe, right? And they stay tested and raise money for a great cause.
I'm so in. Let's see. Sawyer, I suspect this one's for you, good buddy. James Myerscough.
And these are cool because they're actually
Go ahead.
They're actually controllable.
Really? They're controllable?
Mm-hmm. They have
there
brakes.
seems to be some lag on my end. Yeah, there's little squeeze handles.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what aspect of it do you control? Speed or
speed?
Yeah, it basically acts as a brake. You know, you can speed or slow yourself down. I mean, it gets you to 40 miles an hour in less than 30 seconds to get away from whatever might be happening at the pad. But yeah, you control the speed, and there's also 30 feet, I believe, of spring coil at the end in case you forget to brake.
Neat. Sir, we have a question here for you as well from James Myerscough asking, what's with the overhanging section on Starliner? It almost looks like it's on the wrong rocket. That like arrow shell. I'm not sure what the technical term for it is. You want to
Aero skirt.
arrow skirt? Thank you. I knew it was arrow something.
Yeah, well, it's in the name, aero. It is mainly for aerodynamics, and it also it's there for aerodynamics, and it's also there for protection for what's underneath it. It does get jettisoned into flight, but believe me, Starliner is not on the wrong rocket. That is there, so Starliner aerodynamically fits nicely on top of the Atlas.
You stole Sawyer's question.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, you also can't really see it, but there is a stage adapter underneath the 70-inch skirt. So no upskirt shots probably, but it's meant to be there, so it's all good.
Excellent. All right, well, as we inch closer and closer to launch, let's take a look at the launch timeline and see where we're at in the flow. You can see Atlas is already through cryo load, and as evidenced by the venting there, you can see from the vehicle. And coming up at T-minus 2 hours 50 minutes, or I guess it was L-minus because ULA, the crew will arrive at the pad. At 1 hour and 20, hatch will be closed. At 50 minutes, cabin leak checks. I can talk. I swear I can talk. Cabin leak checks are at T-minus 50. Starliner pull for terminal count is at 24. Are we expecting a go no go poll, like in the same way that we get for ULA launches normally?
I'm going to have a quick look through here. The Atlas 5 poll for terminal count is scheduled for L-7
We
minutes.
absolutely are.
That is going to be a treat.
Two different ones.
Tell us about them, Sawyer.
So as you mentioned, there's the one for the rocket. There's also one specifically for the capsule as well. Before that enters its own terminal count. That will happen at about L-20 minutes. So you'll have that one, and then the poll at L-8 minutes for the rocket itself. So I don't know if they're going to air the go no go for Starliner, but we'll definitely hear the one for Atlas.
Excellent. Well, let's do some more questions, because we're getting a bunch of really good ones coming in. And don't forget, if you have a question at NASA Spaceflight, we'll see it pop up in some software that somebody wrote way back in the day.
I'm not even going to say his name now. Have we banished him?
I saw somebody in chat earlier saying, like, oh, I wonder who wrote that software. So I figured I would poke the bear a little bit. Let's see. Dirk is asking, is this the first time an inaugural flight of a spacecraft has had a female astronaut on board? I think so, but I am not the person to come to when it comes to crewed launches.
I am going to quickly check I think it would be. Dragon didn't. Shuttle didn't. Apollo didn't. Gemini didn't. And Mercury didn't.
Yeah, what I don't know about is any like Chinese or Russian or other launches, but
China, yeah. I don't think so. And Soyuz, well, it depends how far back you want to go with Soyuz.
Right. And
yeah,
what you define a brand new version.
Exactly. We're now in the realm of being pedantic, and it's only taken us how long have we been live? Yeah. Potentially, if we're going to class it, especially specifically for American spacecraft, it will be the first time.
Neat. A historic day in a variety of ways. Eric Leith is asking, what does it take for a rocket to become crew-rated? I could make a flippant remark and say lots and lots and lots of paperwork, but really when it comes to
a very long
crew,
NASA review.
when it comes to crew, it's not the time to be flippant. So, I mean, a lot of work to make sure the rocket is safe, right, Ryan?
Yeah, adding redundancy for pretty much everything you can think of, making sure things are tested, making sure things are reliable, making sure that you have gone over everything again and again and again and again, and making sure that the pad the rocket will be launching from is also safe and adequate for crew flights, such as we've been seeing over the last few months at Complex 40, just down the road from Spec 41, adding a tower, adding a crew access arm, adding an emergency escape system, adding all of those things, not only for the astronauts, but also for all the teams that have to go for the pad, all of the extra teams that have to go to the pad, all of the people on the ground. You're going to do all the extra checks in the control rooms as well, because obviously you have so many more things to check on launch day that you have to be prepared for to rate to fly crew. There's just so many things. We would be here all day and probably longer if we were to list off every single individual thing that you have to check time and time again to rate a rocket to become crew rated. This is not a trivial procedure, which is why we are not treating today as a trivial day. It is not. It is anything but. This is a day which is going to join the first crewed flight of Dragon, the first crewed flight of Shuttle, the first crewed flight of Apollo, the first crewed flight of Gemini, and the first crewed flight of Mercury. It is one of those days today.
It is indeed. Absolutely, Ryan. And really, we got a quick glimpse there from one of the cameras. It looked like there was some signatures on the wall. Did anybody catch that?
It looks like they might be signing the wall next to the patch. I'm not sure if was that a playback or not. I'll be honest, I was talking at the time, so I wasn't. It's a playback. Thanks, Kevin. So they might have signed it ahead of time. Maybe. Why have they? I wonder why they would have signed the inside of the arm ahead of time. I wonder if they can't write properly with their gloves on, which is why. I'm not sure though.
I think it was the. I don't think it was the arm. I think it's the ONC building.
Oh, maybe they're not doing the arm.
The Neil A. Armstrong operations and checkout facility. Yes.
That's interesting.
Thank you, Sawyer.
Sawyer always making sure that we're on tip-top game.
That's why we love you, Sawyer.
And also just saying fun long names.
Holy cow. Methane Man, a.k.a. Rick, with a $100 tip. Thank you, Methane Man. Thank you so much. Conservative Space Nerd with a $49 super chat. Saying good luck, Starliner, and as always, great job, NSF. Thank you all so much for this insane support. It's absolutely amazing. And you know what? It doesn't have to be a monetary thing. Like if you choose not to or just can't support us monetarily, that's totally fine. We're here to bring space news to everybody and get everybody hyped up about this new space age that we exist in. So it's not about it's not a monetary thing. Everyone that is helping out is helping out for everybody that can't. So don't fret. It's so enjoyable just to watch these professionals at the top of their game casually getting ready to fly into space. Look like they're doing some pictures now. Yeah. Photo op.
Also, if you notice, it's just polo shirts and pants, not ninja suits.
I gotta say,
it does feel like a little bit of a downgrade, in my opinion. But hey, each to their own.
Yeah, you know, everybody has different styles. I'm a bit partial to the ninja suit, but nothing wrong with polos. I know Adrian loves them.
Polos are very Boeing. I don't know.
They are.
Feels very Boeing.
Austin Skirvin, thank you for the $5 tip. They say great coverage as always. NSF and team, when I'm not going to read that part. Also, what are the 4 towers for? Wrong answers only. They make ice cream. Tank Watcher Vince, thank you for the super chat. They say, go Starliner, good fortune and safe ride. Indeed. Let's do some more questions. 3 hours, 38 minutes to go. Sawyer, here's one from Trixie. They're asking, when were these astronauts chosen?
That's a really good question. This was actually selected way back, I believe it was 2015. They started making the announcements. Again, Sawyer Flex. I was there getting to meet Karen Nyberg and Suni Williams, which we knew one would be flying on Dragon, one would be flying on Starliner. The crew has actually changed a couple of times since the original assignment because Starliner has, well, let's say, taken a little bit of time, for lack of a better way to describe it. So, one person ended up flying on Crew Dragon. One person ended up having medical issues that disqualify them from flying. And so now we have Butch and Suni.
We have an interesting comment from Gilly in chat saying Wally Funk. Because Wally Funk flew on the inaugural crewed flight of New Shepard.
Oh, well, there you go.
That is a good point.
Suborbital, but still, that is an extremely good point.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had to call that one out, especially just because I was fortunate enough to be there. And I think to this day, one of my favorite photos I've ever taken of all time was a very brief moment as everybody was walking away from the vehicle on the landing pad, and Wally just stopped and turned back and held her arms out and just sort of took it all in. And so I don't know that like a lot of times I get to take pictures of really cool things or cool things happening. I don't really point my camera at people very often, but that is a moment that I am extremely honored to have been able to capture. I'll throw a link in chat. Good shout. Wally Funk rules.
Jack, I'm going to tell you that's one of my favorite pictures from that launch, and I'm so glad that you got it.
Thank you, Julia. That really means a lot. Let's see here. Ken N. Copeland is asking, do we know what the zero-G indicator is? I think the corollary question is, do we know if there will be a zero-G indicator?
I would hope so. Any more than
The
that?
answer is, do we know if there is one? No. Do we know what it is? No.
Are there any hints of it in the media, in the press room? No.
All right. Well, we'll just have to wait and see.
Maybe they'll never get to zero G. We'll never know.
It's Ryan. Stop it. Stop it, Ryan. Telstar86, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. Lalo, thank you for the super chat. So they say, so as the crew is loading into Starliner, are they loading propellant at the same time? No. Atlas is already fully fueled. Right, Julia?
You are correct. There is, let's see, the blue team has verified.
Proceed. Stand by for voice loop reconfiguration. Roger.
I'll sneak this in really quick. They have received the go to proceed with their work. Verified that. All right. I think there's a moment, but yes, we have been topped off to flight level, which gives us a fully fueled 979,000 pound rocket to launch Starliner.
Excellent. Thank you, Julia. Thanks for threading the needle there with your answer. Oh, they're playing cards.
Yes.
Do you want to explain this, Julia?
So basically, we have to play cards until the commander loses. Have people thrown the game? Probably. Is it considered bad luck to throw the game? Also, probably. But it's basically a game of war.
Nice.
Essentially.
I love to see traditions upheld in this way.
And I love how the table actually has a lip to it so that, even though we're not wearing our gloves yet, we can't lose the cards either.
Nice. Who is that playing with them?
Joe Akaba, or Akaba, sorry. Sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly, Joe.
Neat.
Akaba.
Thanks, Sawyer. Is Joe one of your friends too?
And then, just so you're also aware, I see people asking. I've met him. But yeah, for the people asking in chat, if I recall correctly, the game is literally just high card, and I believe it's whoever has the highest card loses, if I recall correctly. So yeah, that's basically the game is just high card.
Interesting. An upcoming Sawyer Flex is telling us that you've played high card with Joe Akaba.
No, I didn't play cards with him. Sorry.
But now I think I'm going to have to learn the game with Don Thomas next time there's pizza.
That I would
Yes.
yes, I think that's an imperative, Julia. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Julia
yeah.
Flex.
There you go.
Let's see here. Looking for some more questions from y'all. Keep them coming. The Warlord is asking, will the spacesuits be reused between different flights, or are they more like, fitted for their unique wearer?
Oh, hang on. Looks like someone won.
I thoroughly enjoyed the
Or
toss
lost,
of cards.
Nice.
Oh, and I got some flowers as well.
Aw.
Which makes me wonder, are there flowers in launch control today? Because that was actually a shuttle tradition that I believe is still being carried on by the same family.
Wow.
And
Jack,
these
very
could
quickly,
very well be flowers from that bouquet.
Oh.
I'll give this question a go. I don't know the answer specifically. However, if it is similar to what SpaceX does, then it will be a new suit per astronaut for each flight because they are custom fitted. But I'm not sure about these ones specifically.
Another photo op. How close are we to actual walkout itself?
Let me take a quick look at the timeline here. The
I believe he said
walkout.
7:04, so it should be momentarily.
There we go. Thanks, Sawyer. I was still reading the
You're welcome.
timeline. And there is that Astrovan.
A literal Astrovan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Definitely.
as much as you love the look, Ryan.
Yeah, I will. I'll be nice today. It's what Boeing has selected to transport their crew, and they are entitled to do so. End comment.
Send tweet. Let's see. I'd rather be
What I
flying.
find funniest about this thing, though, is again they literally had one of the engineers that worked with them. Sorry, the delay hitting there. They literally had one of the engineers, since they were both Navy test pilots, cut up the movie Top Gun Maverick to just only the flying scenes. And they did that when they were doing the dress rehearsal out to the pad, because there is a giant TV inside. So they will now actually be doing that on the real ride outs. They'll be watching clips from Top Gun Maverick.
Neat. I'd rather be flying an X-Wing, says serious question this time. When the crew is on the ISS, do they help do science experiments, or do they focus entirely on checking out Starliner? That's a really good question. Sawyer, I'm going to throw this one to you as we wait for the crew to walk out here momentarily.
NASA and Boeing have delays and setbacks. Now ready to test flight with astronauts on board. Clock right in over the left, way off in the distance at Cape Canaveral Space Station. That's where we expect Starliner to make its history. Right, yeah. As soon as I did, I was like, all right, yeah, we'll do the intro one more time. 3, 2. Go
Here comes the crew going down the elevator. And we should see them step outside on the other side of the doors of that elevator here momentarily and get into the Astrovan. Is that just what we're going to call it, or is that the official name?
I think the official name is Astrovan 2.
Nice.
Like,
and did you see
with the
those
Roman
plates?
numerals.
The official name is
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah, what did they say? Ride to space?
That's correct. So
like
yet
it.
another tradition. I'm really digging that we've got this going on.
Yeah, I'm glad. Like I said a little while ago, I'm glad that they're keeping these around.
I still think they need an onboard camera inside of that elevator, just in the corner or something, because now we've got to wait. We can't see them. I want to see them all the time.
I mean, I get the vibe that you're joking just a little bit, but also I kind of agree with you.
I'm not joking. I want an onboard. I want a camera in the elevator. Why can't they do it? Just surely they must have a security camera in there. Why can we
Let
not
me be
pull
the
that
voice,
and see?
the voice of opposition to give them just a moment to themselves, maybe. Just a moment.
That's a very valid point, Julia. I don't know. I immediately think of the recent Polaris Dawn and SpaceX EVA suit announcement with the cameras, like for the first-person view inside the helmet. I'm all for more cameras. Like, I hear you, Ryan, but I also hear you, Julia. Let's see. Good question there from I'd Rather Be Flying an X-Wing. BJ Turon, thank you for the super chat. All right, there's the doors. Any moment we should see astronauts coming out of those doors. I don't know. The Starliner on the van, it's like going to a band show wearing the shirt of the band.
Yeah. Yeah. Again. End comment.
Oh, sounds like we're getting some audio from the field.
Now we hear it.
Hopefully we'll be able to get the cheers of the media and families and astronauts and invited dignitaries. I'm pretty sure we may spot Bill Nelson and the likes pretty soon.
Senator Administrator Bill Nelson.
Yes. Sorry, Jack.
Senator in Space Administrator Bill Nelson.
Nice. Astronaut Senator Administrator in Space Bill Nelson.
That's the back of Max's head with the NSF logo, if anyone was wondering.
It's a quality back of human head, I gotta say.
Yeah.
And a quality logo there that you can get stuff for merch at shop.nasa-spaceflight.com. Cough, cough.
Oh. I do like that camera that NASA have got on the... They've got it on the bridge, because there's a bridge that goes across, like, right above.
Yeah. That was a cool angle. Hopefully we get more of that. Just waiting for walkout here. Should be any moment now.
I'm trying to look through the windows. I can't see anything.
I know, right?
I'm looking for movement. I just want to see him again.
I do like being able to see the BTS
Max
here
has given
from D, though.
A real over-the-shoulder moment.
Max never gives up. He's probably looking for a better angle.
Should be coming any moment.
Here
There we go.
And there you have it. The crew for
This
Starliner's Crewed Flight Test.
I'm so excited.
By the way, I'm taking you guys with me as I work my way towards the road to wave to them as they drive by. So let's enjoy their farewell here.
Excellent.
Oh, Sunny's dancing over.
I mean, if you were going to space, wouldn't you be too?
Yeah, probably. Okay. It looks like D is now about to run over to the other side of the site to be able to get another shot of them.
Excellent.
Talking to the families and the friends and the NASA people.
Got the beautiful golden hour lighting.
Yeah, this is a beautiful time.
Not gonna lie, Jack, I'm really hoping they wave to us over by the press site because I'm gonna head down to the road too. So hopefully I don't turn into a robot on you.
Well, if you do, at least you'll get an astronaut wave out of it. We're looking forward to that part as well, Julia, so go for it. Some absolutely beautiful angles. And you can just really sense the enthusiasm. I mean, heck, dancing, if I was going to space, I'd probably be doing cartwheels. And I don't think I've ever done a cartwheel in my entire life.
I'd love to see you try.
Some final moments here. They look in very good spirits, which is what you want to see. Butch looks very happy there.
Right.
So does Suni. Again, the lighting is just mwah, beautiful, beautiful lighting.
Yeah, and they're using some nice shallow depth of field. Like these are, I'm really enjoying the views right now.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm about to wave to astronauts with an astronaut from the road, so I really love where we live.
I'm so glad you get to do all this fun stuff, Julia, and be part of our team to cover all the cool stuff that happens out there. So, safe to say, we love that you live there.
And I just want to thank everybody who likes and follows and watches our stream for making this oh so possible.
Absolutely.
So they have about, according to the timeline which NASA has released, they have about 90 seconds or 80-ish seconds left until they will depart the operation, as Sawyer will be about to correct me, the Neil Armstrong Operations and Checkouts facility at the Kennedy Space Center. And then it'll take them, they have in the timeline 30 minutes to drive through the KSC, up to the VAB, across to 39A, and then back down south to the Space Force Station, which I think is the route they'll be taking today, down to Complex 41. So from L-3 hours and 20 minutes for their departure from the ONC, all the way to L-2 hours and 50 minutes, which is when they will arrive at the pad for Starliner boarding. They'll ride up to the top of the tower and then walk in through the crew access arm.
Excellent.
And also at this point, the terminal count is at T-4 minutes and holding. So the vehicle is sitting ready for the arrival of these two very special passengers.
All right. Barry Wilmore, Sonny Williams. We're going to get on the Astrovan here in a moment with some final waves to the crowd.
Thumbs up. Hugs.
Oh, big hugs.
Waves.
Yes, smiles all around. We're going to space. Oh, even the fist pump. I love it.
These guys are super happy and super excited as Butch now climbs in. The door will close, and then they'll be on their way with the, as we have come to expect, the military convoy through the Space Center and Space Force Station.
Sure.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time coming, so I would be in high spirits as well if I were them.
Now, we might be getting onboard views. I believe Sawyer saying the other day that this might have an onboard camera, so we'll just have to wait and see if we do get anything.
Theoretically, if AT&T signal is working, which sometimes when there's a lot of people for a launch, it might get interrupted a bit, but if that's the case, then we should see it.
Fingers crossed. We still have you loud and clear, Sawyer, for the record.
Cool, I'm over by the VAB at the road, ready and waiting to wave.
Excellent. You're waving on behalf of not only all of NSF, well, along with Julia, you're also waving on behalf of everybody that's watching right now. So you have to wave really good. I mean, no pressure. I want you to know that you have to wave really good.
You know I wave like a goofball, so it's very easy for me to do so.
Money. Thank you, buddy.
Welcome.
Let's see. David Murray is asking, how long is the mission? Sawyer, I think this is going to be a you question, but it's like, what, 10 days or so?
No, it's about a week. They'll only spend about 5 or 6 days docked to the space station for a week-long test mission. Very similar to what they did for DM1. However, because of needs aboard the space station, they actually extended DM1 to at least a month. And Starliner itself is capable of staying at the ISS and in space for 7 months straight.
Thank you, Sawyer. Daniel Hogbin gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thank you so much, Daniel. Jim Cavett with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Jim. Maniac becoming a Red Team member. Thank you for that. John Depker with a super chat. They say, this ain't my dad's Astro van. A 1987 Chevy. Oh, man. Brett S., thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. And I'd rather be flying an X-Wing again with a $5 super chat. They say Sawyer was talking while muted, so I'm going to make him repeat his answer about science versus Starliner checkout. But
here's the thing.
With 5
I was not muted. I was not muted. I had the internet drop out where I was, so I literally could not hear that anyone had asked me a question. So I was A, troubleshooting, and B, remaining silent because of that. So it wasn't me muted. It was literally I had no internet.
All right. Okay.
So I don't even know what the question was.
And we're rolling.
They're rolling? They're rolling.
Cheers from the crowd.
It's rolling.
Wow, Sawyer. Sawyer, the question was about when the crew gets to the ISS, are they going to be helping out with ISS ops like science, or are they mostly going to be occupied with checking out Starliner?
I mean, the main priority is checking out Starliner, but they will be doing, additional tasks to help with the ISS. I'm sure they're also bringing up some supplies and science experiments for the crew aboard the station. And now, keep in mind, we also have another vehicle that can bring some experiments back. So it's a potential that they may be doing that, of sort of a science exchange, bringing it up and bringing some back as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Sawyer. And we can
You're
see
welcome.
the Astrovan rolling, buddy. Are you ready to wave?
I'm ready and waving. I mean, waiting.
Do you have Julia in sight?
I don't know where Julia is at the moment, so no, but I'm sure she's got a good view.
No, that's good. That means we have waivers like in multiple places. We have our bases covered here.
Yes, I am.
Who needs friends in low places when you've got waivers in low places?
I'm down at the press site entrance here, and it is actually Jeremy Hansen that we'll be waving with today.
Excellent.
Oh, you're waving with an astronaut over there?
Absolutely, I am.
Julia Flex.
Dang, I gotta see if I can join you.
Arrival to the roadblock is about
All right.
L minus.
Continuing to watch the Astrovan make its way. What was the route you were talking about, Ryan?
305.
So I believe they're now taking
it's MLC.
a left out of the ONC
Crew transport
facility.
convoy is en route to pad. Permit entry into FHA.
Roger.
As the comms net are now just telling everybody that they're on the way, get ready for them. So I believe they'll head down towards the main road that goes north-south through the Kennedy Space Center, up towards the VAB. I probably should have made in hindsight, I should have made a map about this. And they'll go up to the VAB. They're essentially following the route that the 39A crew flights take, except they won't be stopping at 39A. They'll be driving around 39A and then back down south to 41. So fingers crossed that will make sense once you see the convoy roll through that area. Again, in hindsight, I should have made a map.
We're gonna need to get you a T-shirt, Ryan, that just says "I should have made a map." Maybe a hat. Are you a hat person?
I'll wear a hat.
Excellent.
And here you go. They're now making the right turn onto the main road through the KSC. And next stop, VAB.
Excellent. What a cool view of the convoy. I'd like to imagine being one of the people in the cars driving the other way and just seeing this go by. I can't
Yeah.
imagine anyone working at NASA or on NASA property would be oblivious to this, but at the same time, maybe you forget and you're leaving work a little bit late, and you're like, oh, it's
This
those
is
astronauts.
That's actually surprising to me because I assumed that the Kennedy Parkway would have been closed from the junction with NASA Parkway all the way up to the VAB, because I think it's closed for the SpaceX convoys, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Maybe it was just closed for the first one. I'm not sure. But anyway, yes, there is traffic going the other direction, because usually onboard
There's your
shots. Let's
yeah.
go.
Told ya!
Oh,
The
we're
onboard
looking at Tory
camera.
Bruno instead.
I mean, Tory Bruno and astronaut Senator Administrator Bill Nelson are cool. Also, two legends in spaceflight.
But yeah, it's a good point, Ryan. You were starting to say there that for SpaceX Crew Dragon, they usually close both sides of the road, and they have a chase car running the wrong way in traffic to go alongside it. In this case, I guess since they realized they have the views on board, they didn't need that. So they could let people actually have their evening commute back.
I'm loving the onboard views.
And you can also see there from D, that is Chris Ferguson, who flew on the final flight of the shuttle, who was originally going to be flying on this flight, but decided to no longer fly on it for personal reasons, which is completely that's a completely respectable position. It's up to him if he wants to fly or not. See the convoy there now making its way down the parkway. I say down.
The irony as they pass near Hangar X.
I wonder if we're going to be able to see Sawyer and Julia waving. That would be like if we have an onboard view from the Astrovan that shows them waving. I might die 1,000 deaths.
I'm right across from the Launch Control Center for me.
Okay.
Okay, we'll keep our eyes out, Sawyer and Julia.
All right.
Looks like they've made the turn now.
Yep, continuing to roll down the highway there.
I'll get my measurement stick out from Google Earth here. It looks like they are approximately 2 kilometers, 1 and a bit miles away from the VAB now. You can see it looming on the horizon.
That's really the best. That's the best word for it. When you're there in person, you see the VAB so far away, and it just takes forever to get all the way up to it, and yet you see it.
Yeah.
And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and it's the same thing in Starbase with the mega bays and the high bay and the tower for that matter. You see it from so far away, it just looms off into the distance. Julia, what were you going to say?
We've got a 2 helicopter escort for this as well, by the way.
Nice.
One has approached as they are turning the corner, and they are on the road toward the VAB.
I see the flashing lights.
Yeah, they're getting close.
Should be turning onto, I think it's the Saturn Causeway. Right turn. Shortly. Looks like the helicopter's in the way of the helicopter at the moment. Or are they? I think they're on top of the VAB, that camera was.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, we're on the ground again. Here they come.
Let's go. Let's go to space, in fact. I love the armored personnel carrier, like, close behind.
Yeah. I gotta keep him safe.
Yeah, not messing around.
They've got the blues and twos going. Looks like there's loads of people on the side of the road here, ready to wave and cheer,
Nice.
clap, take photos. Here they come past our Space Coast Live robots.
I sure hope Sawyer and Julia get a wave. What a beautiful time for a crew rollout as well. Just absolutely stunning views all around.
There they are.
There it goes. Beautiful. So the astronauts flew into KSC, then they take cars, even the picturesque birds, the perfect V formation of birds to go along with the convoy. Look at that. They fly into KSC, they take cars to the pad, they take a rocket to space, but then they land on land. Like, they need to complete the trifecta by adding a boat in there somewhere.
39B in the background, where Artemis 2 will be lifting off in about a year's and a bit's time or so, maybe.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
And they're now driving down the crawlerway. Well, not on the crawlerway itself, but just directly adjacent to the crawlerway.
Right, you can see the river rock there on the left-hand side as part of the crawlerway. Excellent stuff.
By the way, I made sure I took some pictures and then put the camera down and gave them a nice big old 5-second wave as they drove directly in front of me.
Thanks, Sawyer.
Oh, I mean,
there's people on the
goosebumps.
crawlerway shouting, celebrating as well. Sorry, Sawyer.
No, it's fine. I mean, it's goosebumps. Is it the prettiest vehicle we've seen deliver crew to the pad? Definitely not. But it's something about knowing that the two people inside of there, hopefully in a couple hours, will be into space. And not only that, but aboard a brand capsule, bringing the ways that Americans can launch astronauts into space from U.S. soil to 2.
Approaching 39A very shortly. Here is the right turn around the parking spot for the crawler transporter. You can see how big that thing actually is because we are now driving around one parking space for the crawler transporter.
Yeah, good point.
And we'll be approaching 39A shortly again. They're not stopping at 39A, they're blasting straight past because they'll drive out to the road that is adjacent to the beach, south past Launch Complex 48, that still exists apparently, and then down into 41.
It's so weird seeing it go past 39A, or at least not turn to 39B. It's strange. I mean, I'm sure soon we'll see crew from 40, but until then, even just now, it's like, no, you made a wrong turn. Except they didn't.
Yeah, we're getting astronauts to space this time from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. The first time since Apollo 7, right, Sawyer?
That they launched from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, yes. This the last time that they launched someone aboard a rocket with the name Atlas was 1963. John Glenn and the Mercury program flew on one. Gemini then carried a bunch of Agena target vehicles. And in terms of Slick 41, where they're on their way to now, it has never launched a human until hopefully today.
Excellent.
Now going past the decommissioned part of the crawlerway, because of course SpaceX doesn't need this for 39A anymore. They've built a lot of buildings around it and on it. You can see there in the background SpaceX's private astronaut checkout facility, which we saw on Inspiration 4.
Yeah, good shout. We might even get a shot of the HIF and the Starship Tower as they...
Yeah, it's just to the left, so if they pan to the left a bit, NASA...
Yeah, I'm wondering what kind of angles they'll have cameras here for, and we did see that like multiple helicopters. So we'll see what kind of views we get.
NASA has pulled out the big guns for today. It's a big guns day.
I mean,
by the way, worth noting, if they don't show what the orbital launch mount looks like now, there may or may not be a KSC flyover coming out extremely, extremely soon. That does.
How extremely soon, Sawyer?
Potentially tomorrow.
All right, well, make sure you are subscribed if you are not, and stay tuned for that.
So they're now weaving their way around the eastern side of the 39A perimeter. It's a bit annoying they haven't gone wide yet, because it would be nice to see some context, but they are around 39A right now, and they are now turning off away from 39A. They're now heading towards the beach.
There you go.
Past the Pintail Creek.
Are you looking at a map, or do you just know these names?
Jack, I know this all off by heart, Jack. I don't know how you could even
go ahead
ask such a thing.
Yes, sir. Per step 150, 26 personnel 26 entering FHA at this time.
Roger.
Flight hazard area, by the way.
Yeah. I do have Google Maps open in front of me right now, I will admit. So they are now driving down by the beach and approaching Slick 41 ever so rapidly. You'll see them pass Launch Complex 48, which doesn't have any infrastructure on it. It is just a concrete pad, but it is another thing to point out. But they'll only be going as far as 41, so I don't believe we'll get to see the astronaut beach house, because that is further south than Launch Complex 41. A reminder, we are now travelling north to south, opposed to going south to north like we were just 5 minutes ago.
Thanks, Ryan. Really quick, Chris P1341, thank you for gifting 20 Red Team memberships. Holy cow. That's a lot of memberships. Thank you for that, and hopefully the people that got the gift thanked you in chat. Also, speaking of thanking people, Multispace. We love you, Multispace. Thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. You're the best.
And you can see 41 are on the onboard cam there briefly on the horizon, looming on the horizon, approaching.
LC, Slick on Channel 1.
Go ahead.
Ready for pad support personnel to perform OSE radio comm checks and proceed to ground level.
Roger.
So it looks like we are ahead of schedule for the time being, which is what you want to see. Again, currently scheduled, the timeline allows for them to arrive at the pad within the next 12 minutes, and it looks like they're going to get there in only a couple.
More margin, more better. Oh, I'm starting to see in our back channel some images from Max and Julia. Julia, do we have you back?
And LC, this is Slick. They're exiting the white room to grab the radio now.
Okay, Roger, copy that.
Hey there, Jack. I am back.
How was it?
Okay. Jack, I got to tell you, I think this was the most memorable crew drive-by that I have had to date. Astronaut Jeremy Hansen was joining media down at the road as he was doing an interview, and the Astrovan 2 honked at us, and he was so excited. And I have a photo to share with y'all for that. I'll be tweeting that shortly. That was a good way to send them off, guys.
Absolutely. Beautiful photo, Julia. I'm glad you got the honk.
Puts mine to shame. That's a great shot, Julia.
Flight crew convoy.
We are on board with the Astrovan.
Roger.
That's the pad
See
gate,
you,
and we're into the
Go
pad.
ahead.
Crew transport
The
vehicle
Astrovan
has entered the pad.
Roger. Crew is clear to proceed to level 12. Roger.
No more convoy because they are on pad property.
Nice. I'm almost scared
You
to
can
talk.
see some venting there, actually.
I don't want to talk over the callouts, but yeah, wow, look at the venting from the vehicle. It's ready to go. Just needs people.
Yeah, like I said earlier, we are this vehicle, as we now approach, in 10 seconds will be at L-3 hours dead. This vehicle is holding at T-4 minutes, which is as standard for an Atlas V
L-3
launch.
hours.
It's holding in position, it's raring to go.
And there you heard from the callouts, L-3 hours. The clock continuing to tick down, and there is the crew. Look at that shot. You can see how they're just absolutely dwarfed by the vehicle. What a beautiful day for a launch.
For a second launch and for the first launch of a crew vehicle.
Looks like we're going to get a lean back. They've got the arms out to do the lean back.
Right? It's almost like they need like a set of lazy boys or like recliners right there. Just to make it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Like the seats they had in the suit-up room.
Exactly.
And they're heading back to the Astrovan, actually, so they're probably going to say a final goodbye to a high five, fist bump, hugs, all of that jazz to everybody before they climb the tower. I think they have an elevator in there.
One thing I'm curious about as we get to that portion of events, with 39A, famously, there's the phone, at the top. Oh, look at the ice falling off Atlas. That's amazing. 39A famously has the phone at the top of the tower for the last phone call.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not aware of anything like that for Slick 41, but we'll have to see
probably
what
find
happens
out in a moment.
Right.
Have they gotten back in?
have.
I see what they're doing. So they've stopped off to take a look at the vehicle, then I'll drive around the back in order to get to the crew access arm. The crew access tower. So they are now driving around the side of the
I
tower.
love this
This makes a
view.
lot of sense.
We just get to see the perspective of the truck. Like, beep, beep, out of my way. I have astronauts on board.
See if we can see Max and D's remote cameras.
We might have been able to, Sawyer. Okay, I am on team jumpsuit. Look at this. We no longer have the polos. We have
The crew
proper
transport
jumpsuits.
vehicle has arrived at the base of the cat.
Roger.
And the net confirming we are at the base of the tower. We are ready to go. And looks like I'm wondering whether they'll go straight into that elevator-looking thing, or if they'll climb the first set of stairs. I think they might go into the elevator.
I think you're right, but we'll have to wait and see. You can see the countdown continuing to proceed. L minus 2 hours, 57 minutes.
Go ahead.
For your awareness, we've just had a quick instance of some topping oscillations, and I've commanded my system into a stop flow.
Roger. And so you're going to pause here for 5 minutes?
That's affirmative.
Roger. Advise when you reinitiate.
We'll go.
They're in the elevator.
Those Starliner
By the way, it sounds like
Crew
look
has
amazing.
entered the cat elevator.
Roger.
Meow.
Also worth pointing out there, it sounds like they were having some oscillations while they were fueling, because even though, they fully fueled, they continue in top-off mode. So what it sounds like they're going to do is they're going to stop the top-off for 5 minutes and then try again.
Go ahead, Blue Team Lead.
In conjunction with the topping oscillations that were reported, we're getting a unusual audible associated with that.
Roger. Locks 2, LC.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. Is there any expected venting up in that area?
Roger, LC, we're starting to see the oscillations at the top of the OLED space dampen out little by little. We're going to observe it for a little bit longer here, but at this time we don't see any issues with the tank health this time.
Roger. Suspecting maybe just a different sound coming out of the Centaur vent valve.
That was one quick elevator.
Roger.
Yeah, crew already out of the
Blue Team
elevator.
Lead, LC.
Go ahead, sir.
Roger. Appreciate the comment. Just advised of anything significant changes.
Yes, sir.
The flight crew have arrived on cat level 12.
Roger.
Excellent. And you can see the hatch there for Starliner in the white room.
And that, I think, is the arm.
There's Suni.
Big wave over the balcony ledge there.
I so love her enthusiasm. It's infectious.
Yeah. These guys are they are raring to go by all definitions of that phrase.
Absolutely.
I can't see a telephone in this particular camera angle, but I have been keeping my eyes peeled, so maybe there isn't one, or maybe in the modern age of the internet, they'll just have an iPad or something.
Yeah, they just send an iMessage.
Yeah, going to space for a few days. Love you.
They send it with the message effects, like the confetti.
Yeah. One final look at the rocket there for Suni from the external perspective.
Just taking a moment to stop and take everything in is a really valuable and important thing to do. Whether you're launching to space or, whatever interesting thing you're doing at that moment in time. It's really cool to see.
LC OSM.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Crew transport vehicle is clearing the pad.
Roger.
And they're walking over the arm. Looks like one of them.
And OSM, proceed to south fallback. Roger.
Still trying to sort out that covering for Butch's visor there.
I'm still not used to the zip-up helmets. It's
Yeah.
kind of nifty.
Oh, they are signing the wall. Sorry, Jack. They are signing the wall.
No, don't be sorry. I'm super glad to see this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't like interrupting you. I'm British. What can I say?
Handing the marker to Suni, as is tradition. I love it.
And Jack, this is the first time I've looked up since editing my photo, and I'm so glad to see actual suits on our white room team.
Numbered and all?
Final huddle.
It's actually something that Victor Glover had talked about, is they're very much into prayer ahead of launches. So if I had to guess, it's probably a crew-led prayer.
In the room here, we're almost at the end of our 5-minute timer for restarting flow with the oscillations. Recommendation from IFS is to resume flow and then immediately initiate a re-chill process once we have regained our topic state.
Roger. I concur. Proceed.
All right. Go ahead, Julia.
Jack, did you catch that he grabbed their patches?
Yup. I was going to say it if you didn't.
Yeah, again, we were watching out for these traditions and to see how they would play out. Given that it's their first time the crew's flying on this vehicle, it's a vehicle from a different company, but it's really neat to see the similarities as well as the differences here. I'm glad that they took the closeout cruise patches, and I gotta say, I'm just once again I love the flight suits or jumpsuits, whatever you want to call it, that the closeout crew are wearing. Like, they are slick. They got the Starliner text on the arm. They've got the numbers on the back. They're like a satisfying gunmetal gray. Like, all about it. I'm all about this.
I'd say that's proper pad rat attire.
Absolutely.
Thank you to all 8 of them for becoming Pad Rat members. Oh, wait, different Pad Rat.
Sawyer.
Butch has got his Boeing version of the Snoopy cap on with all of his headset and his mics and his head cap. I'm not sure if they have an official, if they call it the Snoopy cap or not, but that's what it is.
We could call it, maybe it's like a Sonic cap because it's blue.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you got to communicate fast.
So, I don't even know what to say, Sawyer.
Probably don't say anything. Continue on with actual mission information.
Cool. So,
and they're doing the glove? Oh, no, sorry, that's not the gloves. Ignore me.
Is that a watch?
Some arm attachment. Oh, it's a torch.
Nice. Which,
you mean a flashlight?
Course, yeah, thank you, Sawyer. I was going to say, which in America we would call a flashlight. Ryan, we're not going to argue about words. I want to argue about words with you, but we're not going to argue about words. We're looking at astronauts about to board a brand new spacecraft here.
Yeah.
So the like visor for the helmet, there's like a separate cover? Is that what I'm seeing, Sawyer?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not Sawyer. I'll be quiet.
I guess I'm British now. Yes, that is exactly right. There's the added cover. You've got again, sort of like the zip-up hoodie version with the helmet, which is mainly used to, secure it and get everything pressurized. And then keeping in mind that it's mostly soft, you have the harder shell cover on the outside.
Nice. There you go. You can see Barry Wilmore getting into the seat.
I've kind of lost my bearings a little bit. I'm not sure where we are within Starliner with this onboard camera, but yeah, I mean,
it's always tricky with spacecraft too, right? Because they're not
There's
designed.
No up in space.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, they're not.
Go ahead.
This time, flow's been reinitiated and a re-chill has been issued.
Roger.
Good news so far.
Like
Let's hope there's no oscillations.
And blue team lead, LC.
Yeah. Sounds like they're re-chilling for that top off.
Yeah, continuing to hear mission controllers work that top off.
Okay, I figured out where the camera is now that Butch has sat down.
Yeah, right. It makes more sense now that he's in the proper orientation.
Yeah. I suppose can you see those remove before flight with those white tags, those dangling
Yes.
down? That will be the direction of down because we're still on Earth, so there is 1 g of gravity. So there you go. We're tilted to the right a bit because obviously they'll be laying on their backs because they're launching upwards. So there you go. Sunny, final fist bumps with the team on the tower, walking back across the access arm.
Fantastic.
LCOSM.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. First step 160.24. Personnel have exited FHA roadblock.
Roger.
I'm really looking forward to seeing if we get to see the removal of the remove before flight tags as part of the pre-launch process. Like I'm hoping that they have cameras on for that portion because that's going to be cool. Just like give me those tags, yoink.
Yeah. Oh, is this Butch holding one, or is his hand just in that position?
I think it's just resting there as he gets strapped in.
Okay. Yeah.
I could be wrong.
We will find out. But it's also interesting from this camera perspective to see the differences between Starliner and Dragon. In Dragon, they board in a more traditional Earth seating position, and then the chairs tilt up rather. But
right.
Different in Starliner, they get in the laying down position like they did on Shuttle and Apollo and all of the crew capsules before.
Yeah, really good thing to point out, Ryan. I hadn't thought of that, but you're right.
Blue team lead LC on 1.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Roger. Just for your essay, we are executing another Centaur LOX retail.
Yes, sir. We did notice that. I apologize for being off net briefly. I had to do a crew assist. The audible that I had reported earlier concerning the chattering sound is greatly diminished, but it is still present.
Roger.
So the blue team lead reporting some sounds, but they've gotten a lot quieter. So fingers crossed that's a good sign.
Right, and they had to re-chill the one of the Centaur takes, it sounds like, and it sounds like they're going to have to reinitiate that chill again.
They've still got 2 hours and 45 minutes to go, so plenty of time.
That is why, and I think this is the perfect time to mention why they have a T- and an L- clock. Because technically, the T- clock is T- 4 minutes and holding, whereas the countdown clock in front of me currently says T- 2 hours, 45 minutes, and 35-ish seconds. That is the L-, the countdown to the actual launch. That clock does not stop. Whereas the T- clock has built-in holds. And those holds are there for this exact reason, so that if something goes wrong, if they need to troubleshoot something, they have extra time built into the count to be able to work the problem and hopefully proceed to liftoff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's why you have margin. Let's see here. Eternal Wolf, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. Todd Bernal, thank you for the $10 super chat. They say, hey Jack, my daughter's 7th grade science class is having a watch party at Silverton Christian School. We met you last October for stickers. Can you give them a shout out? Yeah. Oh, was it your daughter Aurora? Neat. What's up, Aurora and class? 7th grade science class? That's awesome. I wish I could have watched this kind of stuff in science class. Thanks for the support.
I may or may not have had NASA TV on in the corner when I finally got a school laptop in like 2009 to watch all the shuttle missions. So it's nice to see teachers that actively are showing it as opposed to having to sneak it in.
Right? Absolutely. Well, thank you, Todd, and thank you, Aurora, for the support. And Anonymous with a store purchase saying, Godspeed, Starliner. I don't know that there could have been a more perfect time to say that than seeing this beautiful helicopter shot. But absolutely, Godspeed, Starliner. Godspeed, Suni, and Barry. Should we call him Barry or Butch, Sawyer? I'm hung up on that. Like, what's
Butch for sure.
Okay, Butch. My bad. To be fair, it's a way cooler name.
Barry the first name, Butch the nickname. Same with Suni. Sunita the first name, Suni the nickname.
There you go. Luke is asking, why do they wear a spacesuit during a launch? Who wants to take this one? I feel like it's equally a Ryan or Sawyer question. You guys can fight over it.
I'll concede to Sawyer.
All right, sure. So once you get to the actual launch itself, the capsule has to be pressurized. It's a different environment.
Go ahead, SYS.
Step 170, L1 balloon cycle task is complete.
Roger.
So in the event that something were to go wrong, they have their suits, which are, we saw them kind of inflate up like the Michelin Man before, that are then pressurized to keep them in a position into basically a lifeboat with air and water and the correct pressures and things like that. So it's mainly, if you don't have to use your spacesuit, then it's a good day, essentially.
And on the right there, you can see Suni on the phone. So they do have a phone at 41. Not sure who she is calling, but that's probably for her and her only to know.
Interesting. Maybe that's the phone call. Maybe we just didn't see it happen for Butch.
Yeah, they only seem to have a couple cameras in here, one looking at the hatch and one looking at the door, so hopefully for the first operational flight they'll do what SpaceX does as well and bring in a camera operator with a gimbal, but also I'd understand that they want the minimum number of people at the pad for safety and so forth.
Pentagon 1 is on listen to.
Oh, are we about to get comms checks? I hope we get Quindar tones.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Which, if it's anything like... Nope, go ahead.
I'm just noting that it's interesting if they're going to do comm checks now with just one
and Watch
astronaut
2, LC.
there and not wait for both of them.
Roger, do you have a status update?
At this point, we're back into stable topping replenish. Still monitoring our delta P measurements in the tank, but things are looking more favorable. We'll inform you if we start seeing oscillations again.
Roger.
So monitoring the change in pressure in the tank.
CDR Starliner, from Starliner, cop check on Pentagon 1.
Starliner, it's Houston, loud and clear, Pentagon 1 for the CDR.
Quindar tones.
The old ones, the shuttle era ones.
Yeah, the nostalgia. It's all coming back. It's all coming back.
The ones that SpaceX uses are very different.
Power, suit and Bravo.
Starliner, Houston, Arizona 1, we copy, ready for Bravo on the Eclipse control power panel. You can take suit fan Bravo.ON.
Suit fan Bravo's coming on.
All right,
Looks
well...
like some final things being strapped in. I'm not sure. They're doing something with, looks like an umbilical pipe, perhaps?
Yeah, it looks like they took a plastic covering off of it, and I'm guessing now they're going to plug it in.
I can see the 90-degree joint there now.
Yep. What a cool job it must be to support astronauts in this way.
And also a very serious job as well, because these humans are the last people that Barry, Wilmore and Sunita Williams will see and interact with before departing Earth.
Butch, Ryan, Butch.
Oh, I used the full name, I'm sorry. Oh, helicopter.
Nice.
Which is down to just a single helicopter. The second one flew by here a short while ago away.
Alrighty.
What?
Julia, do we still have you? Because we have a question for you, if so.
I'm here, Jack. What you got?
JS Webb is asking, hey, Julia, what kind of cookies did you bake for the launch? Thank you, NSF, for all you do.
Oh, I actually have a great answer to that. I have chocolate chip cookies. That would be the recipe from the crew kitchens of the shuttle era. And I also brought Max's favorite, which is just fudge brownies. Honestly, though, the fudge brownies are steeped in tradition as well. The shuttle astronauts would have those along with their meal when they returned from space after landing back at Kennedy Space Center.
Fudge brownie is absolutely a worthy treat for having returned from space. Quality.
By the way, Julia, fair warning, Swagmobile is running out of shirts. I repeat, Swagmobile is running out of shirts. For those of you at home, enjoy the confusion.
And I'll make sure I deliver cookies down to your table there, Sawyer.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah, if you've ever been to the press site for a launch, a major NASA launch anyways, there's typically a NASA Swagmobile. Is that what you're talking about, Sawyer, the NASA Swagmobile?
I can neither confirm nor deny, but you are correct.
I love the idea of being secretive about it.
It's like, the pearl is in the river. It's, the Swagmobile is running low.
Let's see. We're going to do some more questions while we continue to wait for Suni to get in the capsule there. L-2 hours, 37 minutes. We did hear the mission controllers working some issues with the LOX tank, it sounded like. But it seems like everything is just fine for now.
Centaur LOX tank, if I recall correctly.
Thank you for that, Sawyer. Sawyer, do you know what the maximum G loading is due to the double engines on the Centaur? Black Shadow was asking.
I believe it's very similar to Shuttle and Dragon in that it's approximately 3. Let me take a look through my notes here. I feel like I remember reading that somewhere. So give me just a moment and I will let you know.
Sweet. That's a good question from Black Shadow. Like, I always...
Great question.
I always want to ask these more technical questions when I see them pop up because...
Houston Starliner, we are ready to perform synchronous leak check.
Ooh, leak check time. But yes,
get ready for more Marshmallow Man.
We like technical questions.
Starliner Houston, we copy. Ready for suit cross leak check. CDR, we're ready.
There we go. Helmet going on. I mean, I guess it was already technically on, but now it's going to be zipped up.
And there we go.
And we will see the suit inflate once again in the same way that we did a few minutes ago.
And I've seen some people also already notice, but you can see they have a load of paper checklists there in folders, which they've been going through. Alex reporting in the back channel that they'll use these whilst on the ground, but then when they get into orbit, they'll have checklists on iPads, I presume for ease of use.
Speaking of loads, according to NASA, the max G load is 3.5 Gs.
Thank you, Sawyer. 3.5 Gs. Good question there from Black Shadow.
And good info from Ryan, too, there.
Thank you, Ryan.
And just to confirm we are not sponsored by Apple, I will say that other tablet devices are available.
I agree. End statement.
Yeah, I will say once they get into orbit, as nice as the SpaceX screens are, these may not be, that crazy standard, but they're still really not having flown the simulator.
CDR. Houston copies a good gross suit leak check on the CDR. Thanks.
Woo.
Fantastic. Yeah, it is curious that they're using the paper checklists on the ground right now, like in place of an iPad. I mean, even airliners, in a lot of cases, pilots will be using an iPad instead of a bunch of flight booklets. But
yeah,
but what they do is they use the iPad, but they have the iPad, but they also have all the paper charts with them still, correct?
I believe so. I think they would have them filed away probably in a cabinet or somewhere in the cockpit. So I would imagine it's a similar thing for spaceflight as well. You obviously want your backups because modern technology has gotten to the point where we can rely now on iPads or other brands of tablets for critical use cases such as this. But you always need redundancy. Like we were saying with crew rating earlier, everything needs a redundant system. Everything needs to be checked multiple times so that it will actually work on the day.
All right. Tucker Naus is asking, so technically speaking, since it's a T-minus 4-minute hold, could they launch in 4 minutes if they wanted to? No, I don't think that's quite how it works. I mean...
Yeah, no.
Go ahead, Sawyer.
The reason that they have the launch time that they do, it's down to the second, in fact. And the reason for that is because they have to meet up with the International Space Station. 58.6 degrees inclined towards, so that's launching northeast. They have to be pretty much at an exact point so that they can have the most efficient rendezvous with the ISS. So if you launch it now, you're probably not going to have enough fuel and propellants to make it to the space station, even though there are 48 different thrusters between the capsule and the what's it called? Words, please. The
service module.
Thank you, service module.
Good job, team
And
words.
You mentioned seconds there. That just reminded me. I do have a very nice stat from Alex. So thank you, Alex. Because if you didn't know, this vehicle is being reused. This is Starliner 3. This is called Calypso. It flew the first orbital flight test of Starliner a few years ago. It's flying today for its second time, which means we have a reusability turnaround time from next spaceflight, which is... Oh, I've lost it now. Where's it gone? Here it is. 1,597 days, 14 hours, 35 minutes, and a 21-second turnaround.
But who's counting?
There you go. Next space flight is. Good deal. Sawyer, we have a question here from Dimian Babby. They're asking, because you just mentioned it, what engines and thrusters does Starliner have? And there's a second part of the question that we'll hit in a moment. But let's talk about Starliner first. What engines or thrusters does it have? Sawyer, we still have you?
Yeah, sorry about that. I was in the process of getting ready to switch internet, but I can still answer this question. I gotcha. So basically, the way that it works is that you've got the capsule itself, which has the thrusters on board, the OAMS, the Orbital Attitude Maneuvering System engines. You also have engines on board the service module, and if you give me a second, I will get you the exact number. It is here we go. 12 reaction control system thrusters on the crew module, which produce 100 pounds of force, or 100-pound force each. The service module itself has 4 launch abort engines, 40,000-pound force each, along with 20 orbital maneuvering and attitude control thrusters, and then 28 RCS thrusters of its own. Again, that's in addition to the 12 that are already on the crew module, and those, I believe, are manufactured by Aerojet Rocketdyne.
Thank you, Sawyer. I somehow knew you would know.
Purple sunset. Sorry, it's just so pretty.
No, we're full into, like, we're past golden hour. We're basically, I don't even know if this counts as blue hour anymore, but Venus belt.
Indigo,
Venus's belt.
violet, all the colors.
Yeah, this is it's absolutely beautiful.
It's beautiful Florida hour is what it is, Jack.
Florida hour? You give Florida too much credit.
Well, okay. If I'm going to do a weather report, I'm going to tell you that it's still as beautiful as it was when we started this live stream.
Excellent. Still a couple of little wispies up there in the cloud zone?
Less wispies even.
Good, good. W4WWW Raker gifting 20 Red Team memberships. Holy cow. Thank you so much. John Depker, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. I saw in chat a moment ago you want me to say your name wrong, so John Depkner. I forget. I don't even remember how I was saying it wrong. So now I'm wrong at saying it wrong. Joe Howard, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. And I'd rather be flying an X-Wing. Thank you for the super chat. They say, from an airline pilot, we use iPads most of the time, but we do have paper checklists just in case. Neat. All right, well, still waiting to get Suni in the capsule. Was this how this was supposed to go, or is this different than what we expected?
I mean, it seemed like they were ahead of time at first, right?
Yeah, it looks like they were ahead of schedule as they arrived at the pad. Obviously, that kind of buffer is built into the count. They do not want to be rushing things whatsoever on such an important day like this. Same with the SpaceX counts and all the other counts before. They have plenty of buffer, so things can be checked out. I'll just have a look through here. Hatch closure should be at about,
Go for it.
Hatch closure should be at approximately L-1 hour and 20 minutes. So until that hatch has to be closed, we still have about 88 minutes to go.
Yeah, and we saw how quickly they got Butch in and did the leak check and comms check, so plenty of time yet.
68 minutes to go. Sorry, maths. And it looks like Suni is now scooting over. She's got her glasses on. Cap is on with a communications cap, Snoopy cap, whatever you want to call it.
Sonic cap.
Okay, Jack.
All right, she's in. Julia, you were talking about the weather.
I was talking about the weather.
Is it, super muggy out? I mean, is it at least a nice temperature, hopefully? No mosquitoes carrying you away?
I can't speak on the mosquitoes quite yet, just because the sun is just setting, which is about right when the mosquitoes start coming out. So far, I'm on the concrete and I am safe. Humidity-wise, we are not to August humidity yet. This slight breeze is making it actually quite tolerable.
Nice. And you can see there the weather on the left-hand side. Currently 77 degrees, wind 6 miles an hour, 31 degrees C, winds of the south-southeast, and 67% humidity. Classic
it just changed to 25 Celsius.
It did.
So now I don't know what to believe.
Question authority, Ryan.
Hang on, I'll quickly check too.
Yeah, think for yourself.
25, that's right.
All right, excellent. Let's see. How about we do some more questions? Rob Zings is asking, this capsule is supposed to hold 7. Are there going to be bunks? I don't think it's ever going to hold 7 without going to the ISS. Is that a fair assessment, Sawyer?
One more time. Sorry about that.
The capsule is supposed to hold 7. Are there going to be bunks? And my response was, they're going straight to the ISS, so that's where the bunks are, not on the capsule. But is that... Do you have anything to dispute there, or am I wrong,
Yes
Sawyer?
and no. There are not enough bedrooms totally on the ISS most of the time. So some of them their sleeping area will actually be inside the capsule. They do that currently with Dragon, and expect for them to do the same with Starliner.
Neat. We have Lukewarm Milk in chat 5 minutes ago said Butch removed some of the remove before flight tags, which now that I'm looking, yeah, some of those are gone. I must have missed that when it happened.
They must have done it where they might. I'd say must. I don't know because I also wasn't really paying attention. I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen, but they might have done it whilst they were showing the awesome helicopter shot. So that might have been why we missed it.
Yeah, it could be. Good shout out, though, Lukewarm Milk. Sawyer, Ray Maiden is asking, is the capsule escape system armed when the hatch closes?
That is a really good question. I need to check my timeline and be 100% sure on when that gets armed. So at this point, I'm not sure. So if only we had some pictures of something that you could show while we look it up.
Yeah, let's look at some pictures from Walkout from Julia and Max. Excellent work here from Max. Fantastic.
There's Butch, looking very, very excited to go. So does Suni. This was probably about an hour ago. Where time flies when you are having fun. Oh, and this was from Julia. Julia, I don't know if you're on comms, but this is of Jeremy Hansen, crew for Artemis 2, cheering on the Astrovan as it drove past.
I can hear the honk in my head.
I can still hear the honk.
Mission
Yay!
Sawyer. Yay, Sawyer. Nice.
Unfortunately, part of it's cut off. The fun part is there was a green traffic light, so it's like there go to
No,
go
we
to
can
the
see
pad.
it. I was, in fact,
Oh, it's
I was
there.
going
Cool.
to say that before you even
Yeah.
said anything. I was going to say nice green light because they're going to space.
Yeah, that totally was why I planned that shot. Not that
Nice.
the place I was originally going to go was too gravelly.
Well, fantastic work from the team all around. I'm really excited to see the content and imagery and everything that you guys produce from this launch. Speaking of how it's going to look, Emerald Empress is asking, will we get a jellyfish tonight? I think it's too late for that, right?
Yeah, it'll be too late for a jellyfish when we launch at. I still believe we're on track for 10:34 tonight. The sun is probably right this moment in the ideal position for a jellyfish.
Got it. Good question, though, from Emerald Empress. Go ahead, Ryan.
And it looks like there could now just be some final paperwork being flicked through on Sunny's side of the capsule.
They have to get their
because-
passports stamped.
go through immigration. That's a funny story with Apollo on that, actually. But it does look like... Oh, I thought the crew in the flight suit there on the left was about to get out, but no, I'm not so sure.
And by the way, I had the answer to that question from earlier. As soon as they get to the terminal count at T-4 and counting, I believe that is when they will then arm the launch escape system. Which, again, those motors are included in the upper portion of the vehicle inside the service module. There's 4 motors.
Yeah, just like with Dragon, it's a pusher system, unlike the historic tower pull system we see. Well, I say historic, it's actually still in use today. We see that on Shenzhou, we see that on Soyuz,
Right.
and we've
seen it used on
Apollo.
Soyuz.
Indeed, yes. So, and we've also seen it used on Dragon, and I think Starliner might have also done a power abort test as well. So we've actually seen them used across all of the different spacecraft.
Except Russia did theirs not intentionally with astronauts on board, but they all survived.
Indeed. Colin Vandermark, thanks for the support. They say, I would love to see a rocket with Don't Panic written on its side, a nod to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Reminds me of Falcon Heavy's maiden flight.
I don't even see the name Calypso written on the outside of it, which, by the way, that is the name of this capsule and is currently the only Starliner capsule with a name.
Yeah, that's interesting. I kind of would have expected the name to be on it, although I guess we don't see that with Dragons, do we?
TLT, com check.
Sunita,
Starliner Houston, we have you loud and clear, Radar Ground 1 for the PLT.
Got your loud and clear as well.
Not sure if there'll be any more. Keep our ears peeled. Ears peeled. Look at me. You can tell it's late.
Let's see here. As we go, thank you for the support. They say, what does the interior of... It's not a ULA capsule, it's a Boeing capsule. Or they say, why does it appear retro despite 7 years of development in contrast to the modern design of the SpaceX Dragon capsule? I mean, aesthetics are subjective. So, each company has its own sort of way to design things and way that things look. Right, Ryan?
Yeah, so SpaceX's whole aesthetic, we see it with Dragon, Falcon, their pads, Starship. It's the black and white and futuristic and this kind of this kind of future vibe they like to go for, and the suits, as we were talking about at the start of the stream, that's what they like to go for. Not saying that Boeing doesn't want to go for that, but Boeing's designers have designed the capsule and the suits in a way which they like, and it's their capsule, so they're allowed to do that. And I have to be honest, from my opinion, I'm getting a little bit of nostalgia vibes here from the shuttle and such, and I like that. I enjoy SpaceX's future aesthetic, but I also like the nostalgia. So, and it's like the aesthetics is giving me nostalgia, but don't think that this is running off of 1980s technology. This is 21st century technology within this spacecraft.
Ryan, I'm so glad you're on the stream. I honestly couldn't have said it better myself. Like, that's absolutely. Like, there are some serious nostalgia vibes going on right now. But as you very, astutely pointed out, all of this is extremely modern technology.
Yeah. I mean, they might be holding a paper checklist, but paper checklists are still used in the 21st century. Like, just because it may look like something. Don't judge a book by its cover. Just because you may think Starliner looks outdated doesn't mean it is. They have spent years developing this modern high-tech flight software, which is behind the screens, which the two astronauts are currently looking at.
Don't judge a checklist by its...
continues, by the way, with the astronauts, both with the them flying in the shuttle era, too. So the shuttle nostalgia continues, and the shuttle legacy continues with the two crew members.
Good deal. Mike and Marilyn Warren, thank you for the very generous super chat. They say, right now in Pittsburgh, is that California or Canada? I didn't know there was a Pittsburgh in either of those. It's 76 degrees and 30% humidity. Thanks for the update. Seriously, though, that's a huge amount of support, so thank you. And John Depker, thanks for the $10 super. They say, when it comes to ship controls, old school toggle switches or touch screen? Opinions? I'm going to go with actual physical buttons.
Gotta have a mix of both.
I agree with Sawyer. Mix of both. When I'm driving my car, I would appreciate a touch screen, but to turn on the heated seats, maybe a button is nice. Maybe to do your turn signal, indicators, maybe a stalk is nice as well.
Houston, PLC is ready to perform gross leak check.
All right, we're going to get a leak check on Suni.
Starliner Houston, we copy, ready for the gross suit leak check. PLP, your go.
So we're seeing her helmet zipped up. And we should see her suit inflated here momentarily, the same way we saw Butch's suit. And I'm going to keep extra close eye out for the removal of any more of those remove before flight tags.
You can see a couple dangling there next to Suni.
Right.
Looks the same as what was on Butch's side.
Right. That's exactly what I'm staring at now.
That's what you're staring at for all the amazing things that are happening right now?
You know what, Sawyer?
What?
Don't gaze shame. All right, that looks like her helmet is zipped up. Waiting to see the suit inflate. Has Butch moved recently? I feel like I haven't seen him move in a while.
I've seen his lips moving, or I say
Okay.
lips, more like his jaw kind of moving, so I assume that would have been talking.
Okay, got it.
But you are right, mate. Oh, there he is. He's talking again.
Okay, there you go.
Those
Yep.
seats will obviously
the
have
first
been...
time that we've seen someone fall asleep while waiting for lunch. So, just saying, it's not unusual, in the words of Tom Jones.
The human body is an amazing machine, including the ability to sleep at times that you might not otherwise expect it's possible. Looks like are they still plugging in Suni's suit?
It's kind of hard to tell because it's on the other side of the capsule. But they have certainly moved around to that side.
Ryan, if you need a gravity indicator, those lights that are dangling over there, that lets you know which way is down.
Yeah, although I don't think that is the 0G indicator. I won't be surprised if they are removed. before the hatch is closed.
Yeah.
Maybe the checklists are the zero-G indicator.
It could be, yeah. Checking the checklist.
Oh. Should have never brought it up.
And you could say, hey, can you check Checky? Like if you were, talking about it in a informal manner.
End statement.
Atlas standing proud on the pad at Slick 41, waiting for its 100th launch and waiting to launch humans for the first time. What a beautiful machine.
Does it look more pressurized? Sunny suit? I can't tell.
I'm looking at her
my brain
legs.
is telling me it is, but I don't. I might be seeing things because I do that often.
Looks like she's communicating something.
Copy. Let me know when you're ready to do contact.
Tech 5, you are now on air to ground 1.
PLT, Tech 5 on air to ground 1. How do you read me? Okay. I do not hear you. Do you hear me? Contact.
Air to ground 1, I got you loud and clear for PLT.
Copy, copy. I got you loud and clear on air to ground 1. Let's go air to ground 2 contact again. Tech 5.
I don't want to talk over any of the comms checks, but I also don't want to just leave dead air. It's always tricky.
Yeah, it's a very difficult balance. I think we can hear right now why they are doing comm checks, because you want to know what loops work and what loops aren't working before you launch.
Right.
Hopefully, if there are any connection issues, it's just that the headset...
PLT, gross leak check is complete.
Hey, leak check's complete.
Starliner, it's Houston. We copy gross suit leak check complete on the PLT, and I have you loud and clear, Sunny, here on air to ground 1.
Excellent.
Okay, I got you loud and clear as well.
That is good. Might have just been a loose aux cable or something.
Maybe they had to switch SCE to aux cable.
Okay, Jack. Okay.
All right. Well, with the leak checks complete,
2 hours, 10 minutes.
And 2 hours and 10 minutes to go.
ECS, LC. Tech 5, you're back on air to ground 1.
ECS?
All right, PLT. So we confirmed that you got good airflow with Houston, correct?
Roger.
PLT, you can open your visor now.
There you go. She's opening up her helmet
And
visor.
PLT, perform comm check on ICOM with CDR.
It's weird that we're not hearing a return on the comm. I don't know if that's coming through on like a different channel or what, but like they are saying it's successful. We just don't get to hear the other side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, we are in that awkward moment of they're doing comm checks. We don't want to leave dead air, but we don't want to talk over their comm checks.
Right.
Because that's what they're checking the communications. It's a really awkward moment. We'll get through it shortly, though.
Yeah,
Here's
it's always a
PLT, air to ground 2. Guy got you loud and clear. How me?
Pad Tech 5.
Go Tech 5.
Switch covers have been removed and moving to removing the desiccant caps.
Pad copies, and let me switch you over to ground ops for the next few steps.
They removed the remove before flight tags.
One more thing knocked off the list.
Let's keep listening to hear the continuation of these checks. Really quickly, Alan Lane with a super chat saying, can we get a comparison of Atlas V with Starship? Starship is much bigger. There's your official
Yeah, that's
comparison.
like comparing apples and extremely oversized coconuts.
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that, Sawyer. Is she putting her visor back on, or just getting more comfortable?
I might have been pushed slightly further back, or adjusting
Also,
her
fun fact.
glasses or something.
They do have zippers in different spots in their suit to allow them to zip or unzip for more comfort and mobility, so it could be that.
Huh. It's like the pants, you can zip the legs off and they become shorts?
No, it's like, instead of a belt, it's like a zipper belt, I guess.
A zelt?
Don't start.
I can pop in with another fun fact if we wish, whilst we're
Please.
trying to not awkwardly fill this dead air and unsuccessfully doing so.
By all means.
We've mentioned many times the historic things and cool tidbits which are happening today, and I think we might have mentioned it at the top of the stream, but a lot of people have joined us since then. We've been going for a couple of hours now. We're approaching L-2 hours. Not only is this the first flight of the first crewed flight of the Atlas V, the first crewed flight of an Atlas rocket since the 60s, 1963, I believe. This is the 100th flight of the Atlas V. Whole rounded number. No rounding happening. 100 flights. 100th is going to be its first crewed flight, which is just a nice round number for it to fall on. 75th launch from this pad, 83rd launch, or ULA's 75th launch from this pad, the 83rd launch of the Atlas V from this pad, because ULA, United Launch Alliance, is a united alliance of launch providers, those being Boeing and Lockheed Martin.
Indeed. Yeah, it's kind of amusing that it's 100 launches for Atlas, and that's its first human launch. It's like, well, if any rocket turns 100, they should get to launch people as a treat.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, and the first one from this pad in particular, because before it flew Atlas, it was flying other vehicles. I believe it was Titan pad. I have to double check exactly, but it was flying other vehicles. 41. So
neat. So, it's a big day. We're launching humans again, back to the ISS on a brand new spacecraft. For the first time on this rocket, from the first time on this pad since Apollo 7, but it's all about the people. So, Ryan, tell us about the crew.
Yes, learn more about, first of all, Sunita Sunny Williams, pilot for the Boeing Crew Flight Test aboard Starliner. She's a seasoned astronaut, as both her and Butch are, spending 321 days in space. She's conducted 7 extravehicular activities, spending many hours outside the space station. And she's flown up on STS-116, down on 117, and also on the Soyuz TMA-05M mission, that being her previous or most recent mission back in 2012. So 12 years ago. It's been a little time since she's been up in space. And just like Butch, she was a captain in the US Navy before joining NASA's astronaut corps. The commander for today, Barry Butch Wilmore, again a seasoned astronaut. He has flown many missions into space, STS-129 on board the Space Shuttle Atlantis, Soyuz TMA-14M, that also being his most recent mission back in 2014, so 10 years since he's been into space. He's conducted 4 EVAs, a total EVA time of 25 hours, 36 minutes outside of the International Space Station, and has spent 178 days and 1 hour in space. So a little less time outside the station, a little less time in space than Suni, but still these two astronauts, seasoned astronauts, these are pretty much, these are the top of the core. These are the top astronauts. And at this point, why don't we talk to another top astronaut, Mr. Victor Glover, who is pilot for Artemis 2. Max and Dee caught up with him earlier in the week, talking about how we are standing on the shoulders of giants.
How does it feel to be standing on the shoulder of the astronauts from the Apollo program? And is there anything that, if you had anything to say to them, what would you say to them today?
You know, yeah, that's great. I love the way you put that. I add to it, I'm standing on the shoulders, we are standing on the shoulders of all the astronauts that have come before us. You know, we're still talking about things and learning from the lessons that they learned in Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, Skylab, Apollo Soyuz, and obviously the space station. All of us have some experience with the space station, even as Capcoms. And so we stand on the shoulders of that entire legacy. You know, you may hear me often refer to this as a relay race, and you know, we've got the stick. And one of the blessings right now is that we still have Apollo astronauts to talk to. And so it is, so it's not a hypothetical. You know, we ask them, I don't ask specific technical questions. My question is usually, what should we be thinking about? You know, it's really open-ended for them to tell us what they care about. And so the real amazing thing is just that we have them to talk to. Oh, and I skipped them in my previous, you know, diatribe, but the shuttle as well. We're, you know, we lean on the shuttle era as well, and we're standing on their shoulders. I'll say 2 things. One, Butch and Suni are ready to fly. That's a huge testament to the team, the Boeing mission operations and the NASA teams that have worked hard for years to get us here. It's a huge vote of confidence in them, and so I want to say congratulations to everybody involved. And this is a huge milestone. We've got launch, landing, and all the other things to in between, but it's important to celebrate the victories, and we should celebrate getting to this point. And I guess in that same vein, we like to highlight the big things, splashdown and spacewalks, but the training, the grind in between those big things is what makes us good. The training and teamwork that it takes to build the trust in these things that we do are often not shown as much as the successful big event. All these people are going to come on site to watch launch, but they aren't watching the meetings and the technical work and the welding and the scraping off and the re-welding that it takes to get these hardware and software solutions ready to do these very complex missions. And so I guess something that I just want to share is it's harder than it looks. It's harder than it looks. It's harder on the families. It's harder on these machines, but it's also harder on the people who operate those machines and the people who train us. But we sometimes are the victims of our own success because we make it look good when they're successful. But it is harder than it looks. And I'm not saying that to ask people to be sympathetic to us, but to the thousands of people who support us that we are blessed to represent. I just want folks to know how hard they work and why we're so grateful to be a part of this team.
What an absolute boss. I love Victor Glover. You know what I don't love, though? Unfortunately, there has been a scrub called for tonight's launch. The vehicle is not in condition to fly, so a scrub was called. This might be relating to the issue we heard Mission Control troubleshooting earlier. Either way, we will wait to hear more from ULA. But that is just how it goes. Yeah, Julia is saying it's an oxygen relief valve. You know, it's better to be on the ground wishing you were in space than being in space wishing you were on the ground. So that's just the way that it goes. Again, this is a human flight, so you need
Disable
to...
RLM line items for crew egress per red line report.
Roger.
You need to take care, extreme care. So That is
And blue team lead, LC. Channel 1.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. So you may have heard on Channel 1 we're standing down for today. So start and initiate getting the vehicle in configuration to egress the crew.
Roger, Wilco.
Dang it.
Hey, here's the thing. We've waited this long for Boeing to make sure that everything was right and safe. We waited this long to make sure everything was right and safe with Atlas. What's one more day?
Yeah, that's fair, Sawyer. You know, it's just some other stuff.
Still
that might be-
annoying, but
that might
yeah.
be happening tomorrow. That means tomorrow will be even more action-packed than today. So, yeah, there you go.
What, you have 30 reasons why?
Yes, Sawyer. Ship 30 looks to be getting into some engine testing tomorrow. Our very own Mary has gotten an overpressure notice. So stay tuned to NSF.
Slick LC, Channel 1.
LC, you have Slick.
Yeah, Roger. So I'll rely on you timing-wise to let me know when you're ready for the CTV convoy to return to pad.
Yep, I was working that right now.
Roger.
Do we have to unwave as they drive by?
Yeah, you have to wave in reverse, but it's you can't just wave the opposite direction. It has to actually be a reverse wave, otherwise you're not actually taking it back.
I've never considered that before. I don't know why it has taken me until this point that when they scrub, they have to take the crew back. How has that never occurred to me before?
It's a good question. So, what was what caused the scrub? A valve on Centaur, or
That's what we're hearing at the moment.
Okay.
Oxygen relief valve on the Centaur second stage, and they're standing down out of a quote abundance of caution, which is of course what we want for any crewed launch, especially today's launch. We want to be
Absolutely.
as careful as possible. But you know, Demo 2, SpaceX Demo 2, they scrubbed on the first attempt. That was for weather, but still, you know, scrubs in human spaceflight, as Sawyer will tell you with the shuttle, is very much not unheard of. It's more common for things to scrub than not.
Hey Sawyer.
Don't
hey Sawyer.
remind me.
Ground umbilical carrier plate.
No, evil. Don't say those words.
Sorry.
That's right. I mean, the first launch that I went to, STS-130, delayed because of bad weather in Spain before I even knew Alex. So, you know, it could be the smallest little thing.
So the rain in Spain did not stay on the plane.
Well, it must have stayed on the plane right next to where the planes land, aka the emergency landing site. But yeah.
Winnie F, thank you for the super chat. Josh, thank you as well. They say we need zipper flight suits to make shorts. And
That's clever. I can make a short out of that.
And Snot Garden, thank you for the gift of 5 Red Team memberships to some of our viewers. Make sure you thank Snot Garden if you got a membership from them. Welp, where are we at with next attempts? Have they already confirmed a 24-hour scrub, or what are the backup windows available?
They haven't confirmed if this will just be a 24-hour push, but assuming that it is, the next T0 available to them will be 22:11 Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow.
LC,
After that,
RLM-11.
the next attempt will be on the 10th.
RLM line items disabled for red line report.
Roger. Peony 2, LC.
Go ahead.
Secure CEC and activate safing purge.
Roger.
FTS, LC.
FTS.
Secure RF FTS and GPS metric tracking.
Roger.
It is worth noting randomly, the clock
LC
is still
P&E
counting down here. So whoever's
Go ahead.
operating the clock,
CEC
forgot. Stop
secured
it.
and saving purge active.
Roger.
I'm sure they'll hit the button here momentarily. All right. Well, now we're going to see the crew do the opposite of what we just saw them do. unstrap, and egress from
And they would
the
have trained
capsule.
for this before.
Yes. By the way, when people ask if we just play Falcon 9 landing in reverse, could we just play it in reverse and have them go backwards out of the capsule?
Yes. The answer is yes, Sawyer.
Sorry, I had to make that joke.
Let's see. We'll do some more questions while we're waiting for crew egress here. Mark is asking, so was the Atlas human rated for only this flight? What's the deal with human rating Atlas and future flights of Starliner, Sawyer? There's a couple more Starliners on Atlas, right?
6. There are 6 Atlas V set aside for Starliner, and once the vehicle is crew rated, it is crew rated for good, unless a significant change is made to the vehicle. So at this point, there's been no major significant changes, so it will keep its crew certification. If they were to switch over to Vulcan after they run out of Atlas, then they would need to get certification for Vulcan. Once Vulcan, if Vulcan gets its crew certification, then again, they could keep flying on Vulcans. Just like with SpaceX, you know, you see all these different Falcon boosters. They may be different boosters, but they're still crew rated, so they're still good to fly.
Here's a tweet from ULA. ULA launch director Tom Heater III has made the decision to the launch team that launch operations will not continue tonight for Atlas V and Starliner. Just a few minutes ago, tweeting that out.
Interesting lack of the use of the word scrub in there, but I'm launch operations will not continue tonight is a long-winded way of saying we've scrubbed.
Has made the decision to the launch team. I'm
ignoring grammar.
I like has informed the launch team.
This is Twitter. Grammar doesn't exist.
Has conveyed the decision.
Or they just need to get sponsored by Grammarly, as do we.
Mostly Patrick.
But yeah, that's a very unique way. I guess
And
it's.
he's a Starliner. We're standing by, as we said. We did go ahead and unstrap. Curious if we're going to run anything in the scrub recycle procedure as you're looking forward, since we didn't get very far.
Starliner Houston, loud and clear. We are running it. A lot of the events are sort of no perform because we didn't get that far in the count. I will keep you appraised. The main action on your radar will be bringing the suit fan Bravo to off before you jump out.
Yeah, and we're not going to open the cabin vent valve or anything, I'm assuming, as well.
Negative, yeah, hatch is open, so none of that applies.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. Okay, thanks.
Looks like they're getting Suni out of her seat.
Yeah, they've unstrapped. What I was saying, though, again, it's very interesting that the word scrub has such a aura around it and a storied history. So it's interesting to see someone try and not say scrub to make it sound nicer than it really is.
Well, shucks.
Interesting noting, like Brian was saying, they do have, they've trained for this, they have the procedures. That's what they were asking about is, hey,
Slick
there's
on
some
Channel 1.
Go ahead, Slick.
Yeah, we're getting ready for crew egress, so we would be good for the CTV to come to the pad gate and hold there.
Roger. OSM, LC?
OSM.
Roger. Notify crew transport convoy to return to pad, permit entry into the BDA, and ask them to hold at the pad gate, please.
Roger.
BDA is, of course, the blast danger area.
Yeah, and they need the okay to come back into that because, of course, they're approved to come in to drop the crew off, but they've left it, so they need to be approved again to return to that blast danger area.
Yeah, and as I was saying before, by the way, they trained for this, but they didn't get that far in the count, so a lot of things that they would have to do inside the spacecraft to basically recycle it for another attempt the next day, or whenever they go for, they don't need to do because they never got that far.
Peter's asking, is the scrub an Atlas problem or a Starliner problem? It is an Atlas problem.
Centaur, to be exact. Centaur 3.
We love Centaur here. We're not gonna be mad at Centaur. It's a vehicle issue, a valve on that upper stage on the Centaur. Hugh Mann is saying, dang it, Sawyer, you didn't wave hard enough.
All right, I'll wait till my
Starliner
arm
Houston,
falls off.
still with you. No real change. OFM is off. The prop system is not secured, but it's an unknown and an expected config, and we'll still get suit fan Bravo off here before you jump out. Otherwise, just stand by for us.
Yep, we're standing by. Thank you.
You'll sound so chipper even after the scrub.
Yeah, I mean, if I was about to launch into space and you told me the vehicle's not ready to go, yeah, I would be bummed I wasn't going to space as expected, but, I would be happy that we found the issue on the ground rather than in flight. W4WWW Raker, thank you for the support. They say smash that like button, y'all. Really appreciate that. Thank you, Raker. Plutonium 239, thank you for the support. They say, what if Boeing Starliner was launched on Vulcan Centaur? I mean, I think that's going to have to happen eventually, right, Sawyer, after the 6 Atlases are expended? Or maybe that's it for Starliner.
We didn't get to play that clips. We didn't get far enough in the count. But yes, the ground team there, basically they said that we're ready to work with ULA and Boeing on whatever it takes. So if their plan, which it seems like it is to do Vulcan, then they will work on crew rating it and work with them to transition Starliner over to Vulcan once they run out of Atlas vehicles.
Nice. Spencer becoming a PadRat member. Thank you, Spencer. You get members-only emoji. In fact, I'm going to throw some... Let's see. What should I do? What members emoji? I'm going to throw some Tories in chat. Why not? Because ULA.
ULA.
Ninja Decimator, thank you for the additional support. They said it's been a long road, and it's going to be a tad longer. You know what? That's fine. Human safety is our primary concern here. Raker again with support. Say, someone explain the beeps in the comms, please. Who wants to talk about Quindar tones? Kindar?
That's a
Quindar?
Sawyer question if I have ever seen one.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. You have, per step 90, you have 20 personnel entering BDA at this time.
Roger.
That's just them saying that they counting the number of people that enter so that they know the same number of people exit. Anyway, yes, the the Quindar tones, I mean, this goes all the way back. It's basically the part of the relay that they have and the indication that someone is about to talk or that someone has finished talking between mission control and the crew. So, I mean, you'll hear these going all the way back to the early days. So,
yeah, I love the Quindar tones. They're so cool. The company is actually named Quindar.
Mm-hmm. Sawyer, what about your phone?
no, that is not my text tone. I believe someone else here on air has it as their text tone, though.
Who?
Jack.
It's not me. My text tone is nothing because my phone's always on silent.
I mean, mine's always on vibrate too, but still. Although Space Oddity is my ringer, I will say that.
Nice.
Ringer?
I see S24 in chat asking when the next attempt will be. We don't fully know yet, but you can see there the crew putting the remove before flight tags back on the console.
Yeah, there's not a tag that says replace after scrub. It's just remove before flight, right?
Yes. Snot Garden, thanks for the support. They say all your scrub are belong to us. Reference acknowledged. And Gareth Cole, thank you for the support. They say, who straps them in for the return journey? How does that work? Like when they're on the ISS and getting ready to head home?
I'd imagine they do. Maybe they'll get some help from other crew members or not. But remember, we're doing this in a 1G environment. When you do this in space, you do it in a 0G environment. So Sawyer, I would imagine that makes things a little easier.
A lot easier, yes. You can bend in ways that you normally wouldn't be able to here on Earth to get in and out of the suits. So yes, they will suit up themselves, and they keep it on technically during significant
And Houston
phases of flight.
PLC is
So they'll have to
egressive.
wear them.
I'm waiting on the suit fan call.
Copy, we see it. We still got good video, and we will call you for suit fan Bravo. Thanks.
Okay, up.
So they have to put them on for launch, for docking, undocking, and landing.
And Starliner, Houston for CDI this time. We see you getting out. As soon as you are on your way out, you go to shut that suit fan Bravo off. Let us know when it's off.
Look off.
Sunny, popping her head out of the capsule.
Yep.
He obviously wouldn't have wanted to go through that hatch in this direction today, but as the saying goes, better to be on the ground wishing you were in space than in space wishing you are on the ground.
Absolutely.
At least they had the chairs ready for them outside.
Ah, dang it. Not going to space today, but that's all right.
All right, Houston, suit fan Bravo is off on egressing.
Houston copies. Thank you.
Sounds like Butch is about to head out.
Yep.
Well, the fact that he said, I'm egressing, yeah.
At least they'll get a nice warm bed tonight.
That's true. Warm shower?
It's still in
Earth
quarantine,
shower.
but yes.
Earth shower, Trevor, in a 1G environment.
Which, yeah, they
That
don't
won't make sense
shower
to
in
anybody.
space.
It makes sense to Trevor, and that's the point.
Yeah, by the way, they don't shower in space. They have these no-rinse washcloths that they use and dry rinse, no-rinse shampoo, basically. So, yeah, astronauts are kind of gross up there, in all honesty.
You know, spaceflight is not always a glamorous, comfy endeavor. It's a hard thing to do. You're exploring the bleeding edge of human experience and capability. So, if you get a little stinky,
And here comes Butch.
So be it.
By the way, Endeavour, Atlantis, apparently they were all just as comfy.
And Butch is out.
LC Slick on channel 1.
Go ahead, Slick.
Hey, looks like CDR is out. We're going to go do a few things, but we'd be ready to do comm checks with LC on the OSC radio here in a minute, and we'll get the CTV up to the base of the cat.
Roger.
I wonder if they'll give us onboard views again from the CTV going back.
Human is asking, we have a Dragon member emoji. When's Starliner emoji? We should have an Orion and a Starliner emoji. I mean, we have a Dragon.
Do we not? I thought we already did.
I thought we did too, but I'm not seeing it.
Maybe that might just be on the Discord then.
Oh yeah, we should get that on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And fun fact, by the way, they still have not stopped the physical countdown clock here at the press site, even though the actual countdown clock has stopped.
They still haven't stopped it?
There's you.
Well, I suppose it can keep counting for an hour, 39 minutes, and however many seconds. It's just nothing will happen.
It's taunting you, Sawyer.
I know. I'm waiting for it to stop, and it just keeps going. Boy,
Well,
that
just
could be
look at the
applied to a
T-minus
lot of
clock
things
instead. It's been stopped for hours.
Touche.
Let's
It took me
see.
way too long to realize that it was an L- clock, not a T- clock out here.
I mean,
I'm
hey,
sad to admit.
we're so used to T- with other launch providers. You know, we get thrown for a loop with the L- clock every now and then.
But it was like the hold at T-minus, 4 minutes, but it was like, oh, the countdown's at 4 hours, so it's the hold at T-minus 4 hours. It's like, no, it's the L-minus 4 hours. Anyway.
Jack, dare I be controversial, but until SpaceX arrived on the scene, not using an L-minus clock was never really a thing. That's how things were done. It's just, I think, nowadays, because SpaceX has adopted their load and go policy, where as soon as they start loading prop, they're going. They can't hold the vehicle with prop because of how it's chilled. They don't have built-in T-minus holds, and they don't use an L-minus clock. They just use a T-minus clock. And the fact that SpaceX is launching literally every other day nowadays, it's just burnt into our memory. This everyone else uses T-minus clocks. Why does ULA use L-minus clocks? Well, everyone else actually uses L-minus clocks. It's just SpaceX doesn't, and they're launching so much. It makes it seem
OSM,
like
LC.
Nobody else does this.
OSM, go ahead, sir.
Roger. Crew transport vehicles clear to proceed to the CAT.
Roger, copy that.
Fred Pride's asking why they're putting those white boots on the astronauts. I imagine it's a FOD thing? Foreign object
Or maybe
debris?
protecting the suit, perhaps, as well, maybe?
Yeah, could be.
Just for anyone who's just joining us and was not with us a few minutes ago when it was announced, as you can see in the top left, today's launch of the Starliner Crew Flight Test has been scrubbed. There was something didn't look quite right with...
Channel 1.
Go ahead, Slick.
We're ready for the flight crew and support personnel to perform OSE radio comm checks and to proceed to the ground level. They'll exit the white room and give you a call.
Roger.
Something didn't look quite right with a liquid oxygen valve on the Centaur 3 upper stage. So out of an abundance of caution, the words of ULA, they're standing down from today. So, but everything, astronauts are healthy, the vehicle looks good, it's just not in a state which they can fly it at this moment.
There you go, giving the patches back to the ground crew. Slapping the patches back on there,
Proper
Jeff.
slap on there.
Love
I'll
it.
be taking that off you tomorrow. So, you can have these back now.
CPV has arrived at the base of the CAT.
Roger.
Is that the crew personnel vehicle or something like that?
Crew, astronaut, transport, I don't know.
Something is at the base of the tower, and it might be the Astrovan
Crew transport
2.
vehicle.
Thanks, Sawyer.
CTV, crew transport vehicle, yeah.
Yeah, but what's the CAT? Is that what they're calling the tower?
The crew access tower, yes.
Ah.
Acronyms.
I love seeing Suni slap the patches back on the ground crew's chests. I mean, clearly they're still in good spirits. Well, at least Suni is.
They might get to bed a little bit earlier tonight.
Butch sounded very chipper too.
Yeah. I mean, this is the name of the game. This is a test flight, after all. These things are to be expected. If you go into something expecting you're going to launch that you're not going to scrub, then you're probably expecting the wrong thing.
Adrian is asking, will Ryan be on the next Starliner live stream, considering how late it will be in the UK? And I don't think that's our Adrian, but it's funny because our Adrian would be asking the same thing right about now.
Yeah, he hasn't pinged me in Discord yet.
Flight crew have entered the CAT elevator on level 12.
Meow.
By the way, you see that last shot had the zip line.
Oh, I missed it. Dang.
So the T0 for tomorrow is at a similar time. It's at 10:11, which I think is actually 24 minutes or 23 minutes earlier than the T0 for today. If it scrubs to the 10th or the 11th, then it'll be moving forward to, I think, somewhere in the 9 PMs and somewhere in the 8 PMs, respectively, or somewhere around that kind of time, which would be even better.
Yeah. Good.
Hello.
Here comes Suni and Butch.
They looked a little bit sad on their faces there, but,
Flight crew have arrived at the ground floor and exited the CAT elevator.
Roger.
And look what we're on board with again. So,
Oh,
are
we
you ready
do
to
get the onboard views
unwave?
again. Yeah, I'm, fair warning, I will not be going out to the road to unwave. I may be trying to do a
Oh.
different Sawyer flex instead.
Oh, I think I know what you're doing. But I will stay quiet.
Oh, I have no idea.
In fact, I will step away for a moment. I'll be back.
Raker asking, when will Butch give the name tags back to the closeout crew? I think that's what we just saw at the top of the tower there. Thank you for the support. Trey9 is asking if we'll cover the possible Starbase rollout tonight. That's what Starbase is live for, my guy. And of course,
Did you
tomorrow...
just say Starbase is live?
That's what Starbase Live is for, my guy.
That's
Isn't
better.
that what I said?
That's better.
I thought that's what
no,
I
you
said.
You said that's what Starbase is live for.
I'm good at
Sorry,
I'm
Jack.
good at talking. Hey, look,
we're
Ryan.
doing some reversing.
Onboard camera views. You love those. You can talk about
I love
those and how
these.
you like them instead of
You can
ripping on
see
me.
the flame stack going. Look at that in the background. Oh, it's got away now. That's so cool. Look at these beautiful views of the tank farm. Alex, I'm sure you'll want to do an in-depth video on the ULA tank farm now. You get these up-close views of them.
Alex, were those nitrogen or methane tanks?
There they go.
I know
Bye-bye.
Atlas doesn't use methane. I'm not that dumb. It was a
I
joke.
wonder if the helicopter's still up to see them roll back. Of course. They're now leaving the perimeter of Space Launch Complex 41, at which point they'll be joined, as you can see there, with those flashing lights, by the convoy that they were escorted to the pad by. You can see the big military transporter there, ready to follow on. 2 police cars up in front. Blues and twos are on.
Vehicle has exited the pad gate.
Roger.
And as it said on the net, we're on the way back to the Neil A. Armstrong Operations and Checkout Building.
Not the journey we wanted to see tonight, but so it goes.
Hang on, let me just... I'm gonna be cheeky. I'm gonna check flight radar and see if the helicopters are up or not.
Do it. In the meantime, I will look for another question. Oh yeah, here's one from a while ago. Parker Emery saying that as an Air Force pilot, they no longer require paper checklists as long as they have multiple iPads with sufficient charge. Nice.
I just checked, and I don't think there is a helicopter up, unfortunately. So, but you know, I think that might mean we get onboard views all the way back. If we do, that's brilliant. Oh, you can see 39A on the left, and you can see 39B in the background with the 3 towers. Sorry,
Sure
I'm nerding
enough.
out. I don't care.
No.
You can see the mobile launcher. Look at that.
Awesome.
Look at it. Look at it. Well, on the bright side, we wouldn't have gotten these awesome back going the other way views if we didn't have an unfortunate scrub tonight. But hey, hopefully this will make up for it if the cell network holds up.
Go cell network, go. Go cell network, go. I hope they have 5G. Although, kind of
Well,
sucks.
I think, unless things have changed since I was last at the Cape, the VAB, there's a tower on top of the VAB, and that's the only tower there is for miles.
Yeah, I was thinking that was a drone shot when they were driving in, but then we saw that quick cutaway while the camera was like in motion, and it looked like it was in fact on top of the VAB.
And I'm not going to lie, Jack, my signal near my car, which is near the VAB, ranges from 4G all the way up to all bars 5G. It just kind of depends where you're standing.
I've never gotten 5G. I do live a bit out in the sticks, so that's a bit fair, but
It's
5G is still a foreign concept to me.
We're way off the rails here, but I have heard that it's mostly good for urban environments, and if you're in a rural area, 4G is basically better for a variety of reasons, but I digress. Watching the crew roll back, we see 39A off in the distance. Well, now we see 39B off in the distance. You can see the water tower just up there on the left of the frame on the right-hand side.
This is FTS.
For 39A.
Channel 1.
Go ahead, FTS.
Yeah, step 50, RF, FTS, and GPS metric tracking is secured.
Roger.
And that's the VAB roof cam.
Nice.
Again. I think that is the horizontal integration facility for SpaceX on the left there, perhaps.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Because they'll now go behind that and then appear just down by the side. So they don't actually go onto 39A property, but they do skirt around the outside. This is also the route
They kind of
that if
skirt
you
the
see
perimeter.
Falcon boosters, this is the route that if you see Falcon boosters going to 40, this is the route they take. But
Go
the
ahead.
other way, of course.
Yes, sir. 22 personnel have exited BDA area.
Roger.
"22 people leaving the blast danger area." Did he say BDA area?
Blast danger area.
It's like when Adrian says 2 a.m. in the morning.
5 p.m. in the afternoon.
ATM machine. Here comes the convoy.
You can see that Astro Van 2. End comment.
It is certainly a vehicle.
It's certainly a van.
It is. It is very much a van.
Shares a resemblance with a very popular line of vans. And they're now going down the crawlerway again. Again, adjacent. Directly adjacent to the crawlerway. Not the actual crawlerway, but adjacent to it.
Right. Flawed Perspective is asking, why is the countdown clock still running if it was a scrub? I think someone just hasn't pressed the right button yet.
Yeah. The countdown clock at the press site is not the countdown clock ULA uses for official launch duties. You know, it's a graphic designed for the media to take a look at, so... It looks like we're now approaching the end of the little... where the crawlway splits. Turn left for 39B, turn right, or go straight on for 39A, and it'll be going around that parking spot for the crawler transporter. Heading down the crawlerway adjacent directly.
Again with the crawlerway adjacent.
Well, I can't say they're on the crawlerway because we'll get a million comments of people saying, well, actually, they're not driving on the riverbed stones on the crawlerway. They're driving on the road next to it. So I've got to cover all my bases.
I can't see your face when you make that voice, but I know exactly
it looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're now watching the Top Gun edit in reverse on the way back.
I hope so.
Has someone broken down on the side, or is that just what are they doing over there?
Someone was like going to their job at 39A or B, and then they just saw the blue and red flashing. They're like, oh gosh.
I better get out of the way.
Pull all the way over. Pull more over. Edward Brown's asking, why do they need such a big convoy? I mean, it's like anything else. It's like saying, why do they...
Go ahead, AC.
Yes, sir. Talking with the Denver team and our team, we're probably going to want to do that troubleshooting that we had come up with on this FSRV once we get the pad cleared. So I'd like permission to take that to 6 and get that discussed, get you a recommendation.
Roger, please, community anomaly team, provide a recommendation. I'd estimate at this time it'd be about 30 minutes. We'll be ready to start detanking.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Did I hear them say troubleshooting on an SRB?
That is sounded... That's what that... It's late. It's late. I'm sorry. That is what that sounded like, Jack. Get my English right. Yeah, unless there's a valve with the initialism SRB, that does sound like they're troubleshooting a solid rocket booster as well.
So not just an issue with Centaur, but also perhaps an SRB issue as well that needs looking at and troubleshooting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Back to the convoy question from Edward Brown. Mostly it's just about safety, right? You know,
KSC security is like the real deal. if you ever see the crew arrivals at the shuttle landing facility, like Max and D went to a few days ago, it's serious. They take this stuff really seriously because these guys are test pilots on U.S. government Space Force grounds, you know?
Right. I mean, if I was going to make one sort of like counterpoint or what have you about the convoy, it's that for this entire drive, they're on KSC property. So, like, anybody on KSC property should have already been thoroughly vetted. So do you really need a convoy? But it's also like, I mean, to me, I could be completely wrong as we see them go in front of the VAB there. There's a certain amount of pomp and circumstance as well. Like, you don't just send the Astrovan out to the pad with crew on it by itself. I mean, you got to have some flashing lights. You got to take it seriously and give it the weight, the gravitas that it needs.
Yeah, and for the second time today, one more time that we wanted it to, the crew, the Astrovan 2 has passed by the VAB on Space Coast Live.
Not only pomp and circumstance, Jack, but I think it would be an honor for anyone that's in that convoy to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Julia. I hadn't thought of that. Good call. Well, and it's also just like a sign of respect, right? Like these people are going to space.
Yeah. It looks like some more workers are now being held up.
It's the red team who's trying to get out to 41 to troubleshoot that SRB. Well,
wonder if we'll go back on board soon, because of course the helicopter isn't flying, so that's the end of what we'll see from the press site.
It might be. No space today for Butch and Suni, unfortunately. But that's just the way that it goes. I hate the phrase, but I'm going to say it. Space is hard.
Oh, VAB roof, I think.
Hey, we got the camera back.
Oh, sorry, I just completely ignored what you said, Jack, and I'm more focused on watching this van drive down the road.
That's fine. Reminds me of a certain channel on our Discord.
Oh yes. That shall remain confidential.
No leaks.
I mean, it is a vehicle being chased by the police.
Yes, it is. Sawyer is reporting in the back channel that the countdown clock has finally stopped. Well, I'm glad we get to see him continuing down the highway there from this cool vantage point.
Sawyer, if you're still on comms, I am just a little bit sad you didn't unwave, but I do understand what you were doing was a lot more cooler than unwaving.
I don't think he is on comm still, but I can second the more cooler statement despite its horrendous grammar.
Thanks. Oh, someone else has pulled over. Got out of the way.
So once again, launch tonight has been scrubbed. There's an issue with a liquid oxygen valve on the upper stage. That's the Centaur. And it also sounded from some of the comms chatter we were hearing that there's an issue with one of the SRBs as well. So the vehicle is not currently in a configuration to launch tonight. The crew has egressed from the vehicle, and we see them now in a convoy departing from the pad as they head up KSC Parkway there.
Jack, I'm going to do the actually. It's the Kennedy Parkway.
I said KSC Parkway. Kennedy Parkway? All right.
Yeah, it's not KSC Parkway, it's Kennedy Parkway. And then they'll do a left turn onto NASA Parkway. Technically NASA Parkway East.
I'm going to start calling you Mr. Map. Thanks, Mr. Map.
I am not going to register that name in any way whatsoever.
All right, well, let's do some more questions. Mr. Up5511 is asking, is this the first crewed launch from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station since Apollo 7? We talked about that a while ago. Yes, it is.
Well, no, because it's scrubbed.
Well, it will be when it launches,
It
right,
will
Mr.
be
Map?
tomorrow, maybe. Oh, I'm not responding to that name.
But I could just like leave a bunch of dead air, so it's like you responded anyway.
It will be painful. It will be painful. I know. Yeah. I realise that I have no choice.
Chat has already latched on to Mr. Map. Ricky Nixon is asking, did Julia wave at them on the way back? And we know Sawyer didn't. Julia, did you get another wave in, a bonus wave?
No, I did not, because that would have made me sadder. Although I do believe Dee got a view of them as they were going past. I just stood outside my car and watched.
Nothing wrong with using the old Mark I eyeballs.
And that's the left turn there. Now on the Jack, don't say it. Now on NASA Parkway East.
Thanks, Mr. Map.
And they will probably be making a right turn soon. Yes, a right turn soon into the KSC little building complex there, where the Neil A. Armstrong Operations and Checkout Facility is, or building, the ONC building.
I like how you're using the full name so Sawyer doesn't get mad at you.
Yeah, I know, and you're calling me Mr. Map. I've got to use the full name so Sawyer doesn't go, actually.
Well, the best part is on this very stream you lamented about not having made a map. So, you know, I didn't.
It's come full circle.
Oh my! There's a Nightbot command for Mr. Map.
Oh, Chris B, thanks very much.
Elsie,
Go ahead.
okay, I've got two troubleshooting recommendations for you. First, the team agrees with the troubleshooting that we had talked about before we decided to not go forward today. That's on the LOX SRB to do the lock and unlock test for 3 seconds. So the operator is prepared to do that manually, and we'll do that first and then get a response for the team. After that is done, unrelated to that issue, was on the Centaur LOX fill and drain valve, looking at a questionable status of that. We recommended we do a cycle test, 3 cycles of that, 5 cycles, 5 cycles of that fill and drain valve by commanding a stop flow and then manually doing the cycle and then going back to resume on the topping. And with your permission, we'll put those into work once the pad is clear.
So can I get the details of the SRV troubleshooting?
So the SRV troubleshooting, excuse me. Okay, so we're going to do a manual SRV lock and then unlock for 3 seconds.
So if you can't hear it right, that is an SRV as in Victor, not B as in Bravo.
The team will evaluate. We have expected results that the chattering will have stopped. We'll do that evaluation and respond to you at that point.
Okay, copy. Yeah, I'd like to give the commands for those testing on 1. So when we get there, we'll coordinate that.
Okay, sounds good.
Roger. Thank you.
Looks like they've pulled up the Astrovan to the point where the astronauts will be able to directly jump across into the ONC building, so we may no longer get any shots of them today. But they've had a long day. Had a long day of work, so we'll give them the respect they deserve.
Indeed. And once again, SRV, stage relief valve, not SRB. So,
And as I say, to make a long story short, it sounds like they have a chattering valve.
Explain.
Well, the valve is chattering, so I'm assuming it's probably not performing as expected, being either fully closed or fully open when it should be. So it sounds like the pad team is going to do a manual troubleshoot first.
Got it.
That's what I got from that, Jack, until we hear more.
Well, that answers the question of SRB versus Centaur. We were just hearing it wrong.
Well, then I'm thankful it's just one problem to troubleshoot instead of two.
Indeed.
And I have confidence that they'll be able to sort whatever problem they've got out pretty shortly. The Centaur 3, not only the Centaur 3, but, you know, Centaur 5 and the rest of the Centaur upper stage history, it's a just like Atlas, it's a tried and tested name within spaceflight, so they've got a lot of experience with Centaur.
Welp. No space today, but hopefully tomorrow or in the coming days. We're still waiting to hear what kind of turnaround is going to be needed. We're still waiting to hear more about the issue and if it'll be solved, as ULA is still working the issue. But stay tuned to NSF on all the socials, whether it's Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or I think we even have a TikTok now. But yeah, stay tuned and we'll be able to get you news as it happens.
The booster is still venting away. You can see it's still frosty. They can't detank it in seconds. You know, it takes a while. There's a lot of fuel in there right now, and it takes a while to get it all out. So they'll still be working over the next few minutes to, or maybe half hour or so, maybe hour. I don't know to detank it. Fortunately, NASA provided a countdown schedule for launch, but unfortunately, they did not provide a count up schedule for unlaunching. I don't know about that one. I'll come back to you.
That was pretty good, Mr. Mapp, but you're no Sawyer.
That's not my name.
It's your name now. Deal with it.
Dare I look at my lower third the next time I'm hosting a video?
But yeah, I mean, to your point, I mean, if I was ULA, I would.
Oh, Kevin's going to do the card now, isn't he? I just realised I shouldn't have said anything.
He really is.
Oh, no.
He really shouldn't. As soon as you said that, I immediately thought of Kevin doing the card, which, if he doesn't do, I don't know.
I'm tired. It's not my fault. Look, Kevin, please. Please, Kevin. Please.
Anyways, to your point, Ryan, it makes sense that they're not detanking yet. I mean, if I was ULA, I would sort of want to keep things in a steady state so that they could examine the problem as thoroughly as need be before you change anything with the current setup.
Yeah. I thought I just heard a blip on the net. Maybe it was just some static.
Yeah, I heard
thought
that
someone
too.
was about to talk. Yeah. It confused me. If you're gonna press the push to talk button, at least say something. Come on. Sawyer, so
Hello.
Are you ready to talk about your cool thing or not?
Yeah, I'll post it in chat here in a second.
Okay.
But I just want to say that I have confirmation that there are astronauts that watch NSF for the live launch coverage to make sure if the launch is still on time or not.
LC Slick
Oh, God.
on Channel 1.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're in the process of handing the vehicle back to BMCC. The pad is finishing up. They're removing a couple items that have to be removed for hatch closure. So I'd expect we'd be ready for hatch closure in 10 at this time. I have no additional work. I am checking with the team, but I have not heard anything. And believe me, we've let them know that we have a fully fueled vehicle at the pad, so these must be necessary things, not desired things.
Roger. Understand.
Nice shirt, by the way, Sawyer. That won't make sense to anybody until we might show this, but nice shirt.
Thank you. And again, from the Swagmobile from earlier, we did indeed pick up a shirt for this particular mission too. So we'll have to see if that's any good luck for whenever the next attempt is.
Does the elusive Swagmobile return? Oh, look at that flex.
There's the picture. Yep.
That is Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen, who will be flying on Artemis 2.
Nice.
He just happened to be next to me.
I love how you say that so casually. He just happened to be in the area. Just happened to be next to me.
he was literally just right next to me, and I knew the Boeing person who was with him, and it's like, hey, do you mind if I grab a quick picture? And that's also an astronaut I'd never met before. And as I mentioned,
Oh, 1 kilohertz tone. No, not 1 kilohertz tone. It's my weakness. Sawyer,
I think
continue.
NASA just cut. I think NASA just cut the fiber feeds there, ladies and gents. Sorry.
they didn't want me. They didn't want me flexing more. But yeah, he did confirm when I said it was a NASA spaceflight. He said, "Oh, I tune into you guys all the time to see if." He's like, "You cover all the launches, right?" I'm like, "Yep." He's like, "Oh, I usually tune in to see if the SpaceX launches are still on time, so I watch you guys quite often." He was watching broadcast earlier today as well, Ryan. So yeah, astronauts watch NSF confirmed.
That's a little bit of pressure. My heart rate before this stream went live was 145 BPM. There may be something wrong with me, but that's
Yeah,
really
you
cool.
Too much
go to
bacon,
a
Jack.
cardiologist.
It's really cool to know, Sawyer, but also a little bit, a little bit of pressure.
That makes me feel even worse now because if you, ladies and gents, viewers, if you didn't watch the Starlink stream earlier, instead of saying, now let's listen in for the rumble of the Merlin engines, I said, now let's listen in to the Merlin of the rumble engines. So now
That's
knowing that
amazing.
an astronaut heard that.
At
Anyway,
least it wasn't Artemis 1.
I'll never feel bad about anything I say on stream again, except for that one time I said that one thing, which I'm not going to repeat here. All right, well, with that, I think we're going to wrap things up. Thank you, everybody, for watching the stream. Thank you to Kevin Michael Reed and Jay in the background operating the stream. Sawyer, thank you to you for being on the stream and flexing for
My
us.
pleasure. Always a pleasure to be here, to see to see a rocket, and of course,
And Julia as well. Julia, thank you for everything you do and for being an amazing person. We might not have Julia anymore.
Yeah, you got me. I'm sorry. I was just reading a cool message. It was a pleasure to be on, and I'll see you again for
Good deal. And of course, we had Max and Dee out in the field operating cameras for us, so thank you to them. And Ryan as well. Thank you, Ryan, for being on stream, good buddy. Mr. Map.
Jack.
I did you last on purpose.
I know you did. I'll just ignore what you said and just say it's been a pleasure, everybody. It's always fun to come on, have a chit chat about humans launching to space, even though they didn't today. Fingers crossed it'll be tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it'll be on the 10th. If it's not on the 10th, it'll be on the 11th. You know what? Just go to nextspaceflight.com. Cheeky. Oh my god, Mr. Map Boy, Kevin, what is that? Kevin, what is that? I'm trying to pimp Next Spaceflight here. You are not helping, Kevin.
I can't breathe.
Do we need to send medical assistance to you, Jack?
Oh my god.
What's the heart rate now?
Oh my god. Seriously, the only reason we're joking around is because there were not people going to space today, even though they were supposed to be. Like Ryan said, hopefully that will be happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll have to
keep an eye on Next Spaceflight. That's what I was trying to say before Kevin so rudely interrupted me. But keep an
There
eye
you
on Next
go.
Spaceflight to see when it's launching.
Indeed, and keep an eye on NASA Spaceflight on all the socials. There's a lot going on tomorrow if Starliner ends up, in fact, attempting again tomorrow. We have an overpressure notice for Starbase per Mary, so there should be some engine testing with Ship 30 of some kind tomorrow. Plus, who knows what else is going to happen. So stay tuned. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for the insane amounts of support. Once again, Mr. Map, thank you for being on stream with me. And everybody else, you're all the best.
That's not my name!
Go Team NSF. Seriously.
Jack, come on, I'm getting eaten alive.
All right. We love you all. We'll see you next time.
And here we go.
We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
RCPA chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up.
Water towers, fly! Yes! Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside FD off. Bring in FD off. Off. It's orange! 145!
Oh my god!
Decollage.
43 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
If there's methane, it would be igniting in the flare, correct?